The enemies of
Basically, the world has now chosen sides. Those that will worship the machinations of man, and those that will bow down to the Creator. And so let the culling begin. The world needs a cleaning.
If the President of the United States will be Donald Trump, then you'll know it's a matter of weeks until there will be a revolution.
How many missiles? I don't know exactly, but there's going to be a flare-up. And the Israelis are going to attack back, and Hashem is going to make a miracle. Just like we left in the sea, and God, like, literally, He created this, we call it the cloud dome. He created this cloud and took all of their missiles. Hashem's going to protect us. And it will be clear to the whole world, every single human in the world, that God is standing up for the Jewish people. It will be clear at that moment that the Jewish people are protected by God, and it will be clear once and for all that the Jewish people are the chosen.
So the point is that Zechariah says that this war initially is going to destroy 2/3 of the population. So you have 8 billion people in the world, right off the bat, 6 billion, a gun. It's a 2/3 of the world will die. If you have 7 billion today, you are talking 4.5 billion people will die. 4.5 billion. How does it happen? Only with atomic war.
You know, there are prophets that say the world will come to an end in the Middle East, you know.
America will fall. There is no two ways about it. It's just a matter of when. World War III will begin in the Middle East. World War III nuclear. Nuclear warhead will begin in the Middle East. And you know when the nuclear war happens? When Israel gets struck by the next superpower. And more than likely it will be China and Russia. More than likely. Accompanied by Iran and North Korea. But the main players are China, backed up by Russia, because the brain behind China is Russia. Israel will be struck, and that will be nuclear warhead, the beginning of it. Everybody will press the button.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Huge show today, Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Powerchat.live/No More News is on, linked in the description below and in the live chat where we're streaming on Rumble and Odysee and BitChute and X and maybe Kick. Huge show today. Tucker calls out Chabad, does a big expose on Chabad Lubavitch, blaming them for the strike on Iran. So we're going to cover all of that, a bunch of Chabad stuff, the latest Trump stuff. And if we have time, we'll get to Sam Tripoli, comedian Sam Tripoli, my friend, who was on Danny Jones, again, talking about demon angels. We're going to cover the other guy that's on Danny Jones, and Sean Ryan talking about angel orbs predicting the end times. We're going to get weird, and we're going to go deep. Deep waters. Deep in the disinfo, in the kosher disinfo. So, fire edit to bring us in, one of many from John Garada. Shout out John, and see through it all for all the clips. You know, all the clips that our guys, all the rabbi clips and edits that our guys have put together over the years are now, even more so than usual, getting mirrored on other channels and going crazy viral all the time, where these things are coming from. All right, here's the latest with Trump.
Well, we have the greatest military. This is very important.
Talking about why we bombed Iran.
This is very important, and we're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15. And we're going to continue to do well. We have the greatest military in the world.
Polls are showing, if you believe the polls, many of them are showing that the MAGA base and the conservative right, the Christian conservatives are in support of Donald Trump's strike on Iran.
World by far, and that was a tremendous threat to us for many years. 47 years they've been killing our people and killing people from all over the world, and I think we have great support, and I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible. And if we didn't terminate the worst deal, one of the worst deals ever made, the Obama nuclear deal, I call it the Obama nuclear deal, where he gave everything to Iran.
That Trump, since 2015.
Adam, they're stealing your material. Take it as a compliment. You're ahead of the curve.
It's not our material. The point is that they never retweet it when it never goes viral when any of our sphere posts it. But then these anon, nobody, and then they mix it all in with a bunch of Christian and Muslim controlled op slop as well, and never share the clips that implicate Christianity and Islam. While we get suppressed and shadow banned. That's what's going on.
Everything to Iran.
But still good that it is getting it out there.
A nuclear weapon. Bad things would have happened 4 years ago because they would have had a weapon 4 years ago if I didn't terminate that deal.
Remember we covered on the show the other night how Expose the Enemies, all of his clips from his YouTube videos about Trump, soon as the very inception of his 2016 presidency was about ripping up the Iran deal for the Zionist.
This is very important.
Which ultimately culminated in this is what they wanted. In fact, I saw something recently. They were like, Israel has wanted this all along. All of these negotiations have been fraudulent. They wanted Obama. There's clips going around of Netanyahu 30 years ago saying, he said it's been 40 years that they've been calling for this. But then if we say it's like, oh, it's a war for Israel, or it's a war for the Jews, or it's Chabad Lubavitch is bully. I haven't even seen what Tucker covers yet. It's just like, oh, it's anti-Semitic. You're going to cause violence. Just like that's the facts. They have wanted it. It is for them.
But if we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago,
they've been saying that for 30 years.
They would have a nuclear weapon. And when crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen. So we're in very good shape now. I want to let you know that, and we will continue forward. But it's a great display of military strength, and I'm very proud to have, with some of the people in the room, both senators and congressmen, we rebuilt, and women. If we didn't hit...
Yeah, I wonder if the 47 does have single watcher. We talked about that the other day. Oh, look, here's the compilation. Netanyahu over the years.
Could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year.
They have the
2018,
the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Once Saddam has nuclear weapons,
nice,
the terror network will have nuclear weapons. Next thing you'll see is a nuclear bomb in the World Trade Center. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. If not stopped.
You know, it's obvious. People like bragging like, oh, they predicted there would be an Iran war. It's only obvious. That's like predicting like, you know, Michael Jordan's going to go to the NBA finals or something. Like they've been obsessed with it forever. It's their prophecies. It's the people that were in such denial and tried to sell you that Trump is going to be the stop World War III and be the save the world and be the peacemaker and stuff, which they're still hailing him as the peacemaker as he does this, which is exactly what I called. Look at how I nailed these guys. Look at what I just found. I was looking through, setting up the show. November 1st, 2022, long before Trump even announced he was going to run again in 2024. When Netanyahu returned to power, which I had also predicted in 2022, I said, Rebbe said Netanyahu will hand the keys to Moshiach. Trump will be back too, and Zio agenda will proceed according to plan. 2022. When it looked like Trump was maybe going to jail, I said, no, that's only going to make him stronger. He's going to be back. Him and Kushner are going to be back for peace in the Middle East, more Abraham Accords, more rise in anti-Semitism and anti-Semitism crackdown, war with Iran and Russia, Gog and Magog, a possible dividing of the land of Israel with some peace negotiation with the West Bank, that they would take Gaza. I was on with Sam Tripoli 6 months before the 2024 election, and I said they're going to take Gaza. And we'll see. We'll see if they have the talk about, after all of this, about some peace settlement with the West Bank. The PLO. Okay, and look, here's the other. Oh, wait, shoot. Here's the other nailed it that I found. Watch this one. Nailed it. This one's later, March 2024. So, what is that? 3 November. It's like 7 months before the election. I said Trump Kushner will be installed back in power for quote unquote peace, and then the destruction of Edom in Gog and Magog war will unfold. 2024, 6 months before the election. Funny how I made a bet with Al Bashai, too, about Trump was going to be back in a few years before. All right. Everybody's talking about predictive history. Oh, he said it. Now he says Iran's going to lose. It's like the dude that popped up in 2023. I mean, it's all, if you've followed the channel since 2015, 2016, it was all about Trump and the Third Temples and the Red Heifers and Moshiach and Trump Antichrist, Trump Messiah, Jared Kushner, Chabad. So it's only obvious this is what they're completely obsessed with. And now it has all come to like a boiling head, a boiling, bubbling head with Tucker Carlson and his hour-and-a-half expose titled, Could This Be a Religious War Designed to Rebuild the Third Temple on the Ashes of Al-Aqsa? Hope not. Oh, yeah, I was doing videos about destroying the Dome of the Rock as well.
Tire_Torque sent $25 on Rumble. Do you think Tucker's Chabad comments are deliberate false opposition meant to obfuscate Christianity's kosher utility? Damage control as a result of your edits? Hail the Goy Shiako 7.
Thank you. Possibly. I haven't watched it yet. We got to watch it. We're going to live react to what he said here and this, and then I'll decide. But yes, obviously I'm suspicious of that, what the spin is going to be. Because I thought it was like, oh, he likes the Orthodox Jews and thinks Noahide laws are great, and it's the Khazarians and it's the imposters, and Netanyahu just doesn't follow. He's secular. That's the problem. So this is like a change of pace.
So tired of some running cover for Trump like they have blackmail on him. That's Cope. He is one of them, period.
Did you see Alex Jones with Fuentes the other day? He was like crying that like he's like they were gonna take over InfoWars. That Trump was my lifeboat, and I needed him to save me in my operation. So I was trying to be optimistic. It's like crazy. Seems like excuses, but I don't know. Maybe there is a little truth to that. Tucker is trying to connect Chabad to Khazars in a way to scapegoat white people. We'll see. We'll see if he calls them Khazars. All right, so we're going to get to that yet. Hold on. We have some more from Trump. Netanyahu, before we get there, though, some of the latest news. Netanyahu on Iran war says, the Torah portion, remember what Amalek did to you.
First of all, from ourselves.
Real Vision sent $10 on Rumble.
Thank you, Vril.
This is also surreal. I feel like we have been Sherlock Holmes on this. Not effing corkscrew Candace.
It's pretty eerie how accurate it's all been. It's pretty Twilight Zone that it all keeps unfolding. Wait till I show you some more of this Chabad stuff I've been covering over the years, too. Rebbe stuff.
אנחנו קראנו בפרשת השבוע, זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק. אנחנו זוכרים ואנחנו פועלים.
And if this regime of terror has nuclear weapons, they will threaten all of humanity. Therefore, we went out to push away this danger too. First of all,
Thank you, Jack Stone. That is right. I saw that. Jack Stone says Tucker is just repackaging old Dugan ideologies for the current American zeitgeist. That's probably what it's going to be. I saw that on Twitter. Somebody did like a side by side of what Dugan says about it and what he says about it. So it's so well known now. It's not like, might as well have Tucker cover it from a certain angle or have a certain takeaway or an important omission or a misdirection. So we're going to see.
From ourselves, from us. But we are acting here together with the United States in the name of and for the sake of all humanity.
It's like, in a way, they're also filling in everybody on just like what the lore is.
I draw immense strength from the resilience of our citizens, from the heroism of our soldiers and commanders. We read in this week's Torah portion, remember what Amalek did to you. We remember, and we act.
It's crazy how Amalek in the Exodus is like a fake story, too. All of this built upon this foundational myth. All of this rooted in a lie, a fiction. Okay, also, you know what? I forgot I got to get all these saved. I got to get these all bookmarked so we can come back. Reopen, close tab. What do you guys have to think? How crazy are those predictions, guys? You've been around for a while. How surreal, how eerie is it that all of this has unfolded as it has? Trump with his Prince of Peace from the Chabad rabbi, his Prince of Peace award, his Torah Crown award. How about Netanyahu and Trump on the Temple Institute coin with the Sons of Light and the Sons of Darkness? How about that one? Sorry, I just had to get these saved real quick. Netanyahu wants his people to know that this Purim that he's remembering Amalek, Haman, and the Jews' mass slaughter of 7,500 Persians some 2,300 years ago. Again, in a fictional story. Netanyahu, he doesn't even believe the Torah. He's an atheist. They're so secular. Oh, he's not even Jewish. Milikowski from Poland, just like Torah out. Torah out. With all his dudes reading the book of Esther. Attacking, the way that Tucker put it too, like he's attacking the leader, like the Pope of a branch of Islam on Ramadan. Adam's jar right is overflowing. It is true. Look at the rabbi on Fox News the other day. Chabad rabbi. Oh, not to mention also Trump appointed the Chabad rabbi to be the anti-Semitism czar.
Shirin Yadigar and Rabbi Chaim Mentz, what do you think comes next in Iran? Will we see regime change, Sheila?
I do think we're going to see regime change. I don't think that we've lost all of these Iranian lives, lost American soldiers, lost Israeli lives to remain with the same status quo. Absolutely not.
Rabbi.
There's definitely going to be a regime change. But I got to say, today, 2,300 years ago, the entire Iran negative people were wiped out.
Negative people, Amalek, all the Amalekite Persians were wiped out, bro. We're Purim maxing on Fox News right now.
Entire Iran negative people were wiped out, and therefore we give presents. In the name of Purim and everybody of the Nightcat crew.
Oh,
happy Purim!
Look at this. So they'll be
the ears.
After a genuine one. Shirin, thank you, Rabbi.
Haman's ear cookies.
Oh yes, absolutely. There will
Eat your Amalekite
Shirin
ears, goy. Wow. Dude. A vote for Trump was a vote for Chabad. And if you were paying attention and if you weren't lying to yourself, that's been obvious since the beginning. A vote for Trump was a vote for Jared Kushner and Netanyahu and Chabad. And now Tucker's calling it out. Oh, and they're losing their minds about this, by the way. He touched the actual third rail. It is a cannibalism ritual. Good point. So it's kind of like having the bread of Christ. The ADL also informally embracing the whole this was a pure miracle to wipe out the modern day Ham and Amalek. And remember, guys, who predicted 4 days before it's going to happen on that Shabbat pre-Purim, remember Amalek, Zohar holiday? We did. Just like I predicted Trump was going to go visit the Rebbe's grave before the election a week before. We're going to play that clip in a bit here too. ADL Purim maxing. Oh, they're just secular. Oh, they're not even religious. Today is Purim, a holiday when we celebrate the thwarted plot to annihilate the Jewish people of Persia, modern-day Iran, and the courage of those who stood up against hatred. This year, the Purim story feels closer than ever. The former Iranian regime's supreme leader, a man who openly, obsessively called for the destruction of the Jewish state of Israel and the death of Jews worldwide, is a stark reminder of how the themes of this holiday echo into the present day. They plan this shit to do it on this day. They are dead serious about these prophecies and this Zionist agenda. And it's Judaism. It's not Khazarians, it's Judaism. ADL's always collaborating with Chabad, by the way. And their shut it down agenda. Lindsey Graham, this isn't recent. This was last year, I believe. He said this. I remember covering this. But he says this is a religious war, holy war. I bet you I should do a search for holy war and see what I can find on my Twitter. I know we've had some holy war clips.
This is a religious war. Who wins it at the end of the day? Do the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill?
We got a bunch of messianic, apocalyptic, Jewish death cults, different flavors of it, and all of their end times conspiracies leading us to disaster because of this Abrahamic deception, this Judeo-prophecy paradigm matrix that they got us in. Everybody brainwashed according to these prophets and prophecies. Yeah, they're all just pawns for the black nobility and the Babylonians, though, and the occult Nazis. And Alex Jones, now I see, there's a clip we might get to of Alex Jones. He's saying, it's the British Empire is behind all of this. They're the ones behind Israel. Jay Dyer, same thing. The British Empire is the masterminds behind all of this. Give me a fucking break.
End of the day. Do the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill all the Jews because God told them to, who want to kill me because I'm an infidel, who want to purify Islam, to reject moderation and make everybody a jihadist, this is a big deal. I'll deal with Section 230. So what we're facing right now,
that's how they're going to censor us.
Moment of decision that will set the course of the future of the Mideast for 1,000 years. This is
1,000 year, so messianic, the messianic age, the Sabbath millennium. Not to mention our Department of War is the rallying call for the Gog and Magog war from our Christ Crusader, Fox News, neocon, ultra-Zionist, Pete Hegseth, is Christ is King is the war cry for Edom being going in. Wants to rebuild the third temple.
Sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israel, and a step in that process. I know that it could happen. You don't know how it would happen. Of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
Wants to rebuild the frickin' temple, dude. Michelle Bachmann, who was a nominee, or not a nominee, she ran for president and she was in Congress. She says, America is going to be blessed because we attacked Iran. No, we're actually going to be destroyed. The war with Iran is ultimately about destroying Edom also, the West also.
Moment, we have to do better. And so I commend Donald Trump. I commend Benjamin Netanyahu. I truly believe, Greg, maybe we can talk about that a little later, but I truly believe that God ordained these two men to be the leaders of those nations at this exact time for this exact purpose. We've all been given an opportunity to bless Israel. If we bless Israel like I believe President Trump is doing now, then we will be blessed. I truly believe America is going to be blessed from this effort. And likewise, if we turn our back on Israel and curse them, then we're cursed as a nation. And the Bible bears that out. Again, there's only one criterion upon which nations are judged. That's how nations treat Zion. So at this moment, we have to do everything we can to ensure that President Trump has a House and a Senate that will work with him to advance peace and prosperity in America by being pro-Israel. So that's why the primary is extremely important.
Right. It's the golden age, but it's not just America's
Yes.
golden age. It's actually the golden age for the world.
For Israel, you mean, right? Look at this. Senator Kevin Kramer says we have a biblical responsibility to Israel.
You are? Yeah. Why are we at war with Iran? Finding it confusing.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there are several good reasons for us to take out Iran's nuclear capabilities. First of all, because they're willing to use it.
There was an Iran nuclear deal signed in 2015.
Yeah, thank God we got out of that. Yeah. Remember, he agreed to a deal that allowed Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
No, they didn't.
Thank God we intervened in that. And they were on their way to doing it.
No, they weren't. And,
Yeah, they were. You know, they were licensed to have, to enrich to a level that would allow a nuclear weapon.
No, they weren't.
Insane.
Did he say the biblical thing yet?
To the
Hold on.
responsibility to them as
There it is.
clad partners. We need them in the Middle East. We need them to be strong. We have a biblical responsibility to them as well as.
We have a biblical response. We're so cooked because of these Christians. I saw a new clip of Mizrachi laughing about how they control America because of the Christians. And here's another called it. I mean, this was just right before the election, though. J.D. Vance got picked for VP. They're at the convention, Republican convention. A lot of people, he says, quote,
Soleimani. By the way, that action, people said that it would lead to broader. A lot of people recognize that we need to do something with Iran, but not these weak little bombing runs. If you're going to punch the Iranians, you punch them hard, and that's what he did when he took out Soleimani. By the way, that action, people said that it would lead to.
So we knew they're going to punch Iran hard. I said Gog and Magog war will proceed according to the plan. Look at this again. Moshiach Trump will preside over Edom for Gog and Magog. 63 likes. This was when he got shot too. Then it was like obvious. Oh, and by the way, remember I posted predicting the deadly head wound that the Antichrist would have with Donnie Darkins, who I'm trying to get back on the show next week. It's just it is so crazy to me. Michelle Bachmann declared the Iranian regime because they're so filled with demonic rage toward Israel. This goes back to the Garden of Eden and Satan. Oh my gosh. This crazy woman. This Christ brain. Hypnotic brain disease of believing in these prophecies.
Many nations have nuclear weapons, but only Iran has the will and the state of objective that they will use it. In their public square in Tehran, they have a square that has the countdown clock that says, this is how long it will be until we annihilate, until we kill every Jew with a nuclear bomb in Israel. They're blatant about it. They want everybody to know this is who they are. Most people don't know that, but they're blatant about it because they're so filled with demonic rage. They're filled with satanic rage, these Ayatollahs. You could only hate someone if Satan was living inside of you. It's the only.
And what do they say about anti-Semitism in America? Jews aren't safe. Their golden age is over. They got to make Aliyah. Record high anti-Semitism. Now that we're in another war, blatantly, clearly for Iran, and everybody knows it, when it starts going bad. So if something backfires and it doesn't go well, you know who's going to be blamed for this. It's just going to intensify that even more. Fever pitch levels.
Anonymous sent 5.
They're going to pull the rug.
Carlson is most likely a Freemason. Give that he interview McGregor in a Freemason lodge. Christianity is proto-communism and it's evil and Jewish.
I remember that. Could be. Could be.
It could be. And so that's
wow, that was weird. I said could be, and then she said could be. Was that weird or what?
They need to be defeated. And so that's why they need to be defeated. They need to go. This isn't just a spat between nations over a border, a little bit of land. That isn't it. This literally goes back to the Garden of Eden with Satan and Satan's hatred for God.
Come on. Goes back to Jewish fairy tales, huh? Couple more news ones. This is CNN. They say Israel doesn't want them to show any attacks on Israel. So they everybody was posting a bunch of fake stuff like Iran was winning and pummeling Israel and all these fake AI images and slop. They've been cracking down on those, but then the internet's complaining that, like, where's all the footage? Israel's has a media blackout, so we can't see how much damage that they've inflicted and how the war is actually going. And so that's like the context of why the people are posting this right here.
Go up there. We're not showing you that because we're not going to show. The Israeli government does not allow us or want us to show where that may have come up, that interceptor. But I'm not going to go up there.
That makes sense too. They don't want people to. Did you guys hear that Israel had like every street light in Iran hacked, and they've been tracking shit like deep for a while? Did you guys hear that? Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country? Iranian foreign minister, no, we are waiting for them. And they're saying boots on the ground is on the table. Not ruling it out anymore.
U.S. invasion in your country.
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Are you afraid of a U.S.
Oh, they're arming the Kurds to do a ground invasion? I've heard that as well, too. They're promising them a state or something. CNN says we took damage on one of our missile defense radar. Let's see this. It got community noted, though, here. We'll have to read that, too.
Has struck Al-Udeid Air Base, as I said, the biggest American base in the region. We don't know much more. No casualties reported as of yet. Again, we don't know what we don't know, but we do know they are saying it was a ballistic missile. It's obviously a significant development. And as that is coming in, we are learning that the CIA is also working to trigger some sort of an uprising inside of Iran. Now, this is a major and potentially explosive development in the war. So let me tell you what we know here with these breaking details. Multiple people familiar with the plan are telling CNN that the Trump administration is working to arm Kurdish forces, who they then expect to take part in has struck Al-Udeid Air Base, as I said, the biggest American base in the region.
Okay, one of three panels, Block 5 early warning radar owned by Qatar took damage by a little drone, it says. Okay. I don't think I'm ready for Alex Jones. Let's do this. Remember this one?
Gone say about that. So, Leslie, there has been a lot of speculation about whether Israel would go it alone, would attack Iran all on its own. What does Mayor Dagan say about that?
Well, he thinks it's a mistake generally to make it an Israeli-Iranian issue. It should be an international issue. Somehow the Saudis should be encouraged to speak up and pressure the United States. And what he really would like to happen is Israel sits back and the Americans do it for the Israelis. It would then be internationalized. He knows that Israel will be attacked, whoever does it, but they'll be attacked less. And what he's most worried about is the retaliation.
That's where they had us attack first. Okay, I'm not ready for Alex Jones and his Messiah. Okay, let's go to Tucker. Where's the Tucker? Okay, I kind of want to start with the clips. The highlight, the best part. 1 minute. Here we go.
So how exactly did the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, a military that the U.S. taxpayer pays for, that lots of wealthy Americans send money to friends of the IDF, how did all these guys wind up wearing patches suggesting the point of this war was the destruction of one of the holiest places in Islam and the rebuilding of a temple that is totally anathema to Christianity? Like, how did this happen?
Oh, it's all against Christianity. No, actually, Christianity needs that temple, and it needs the Antichrist. You think that fulfills your prophecy of an Antichrist in the temple declaring himself God. So that's already wrong. And
was the destruction of one of the holiest places in Islam and the rebuilding of a temple that is totally anathema to Christianity.
Well, hold on, I forgot
wearing
what I was going to say.
patches, suggesting the point of this war.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Caden 13 sent $5 on Rumble. Interesting times we're living through. Along for the ride. Gotta admit the military capabilities of these yids is impressive. Must be their Aryan admixture poking through lol.
That's true, but it's also the relationship with the United States. The point I was going to make was, remember, it was Al-Aqsa storm. Hamas attacked, they said, because of the red heifers. Man, that's wild to think about. Because of the red heifers and because of the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque and because they know that they want to destroy the temple. That's why they called it Al-Aqsa Storm. Wasn't that what it was called? Storm. That was the military operation. Al-Aqsa Storm. Al-Aqsa Flood was a massive surprise attack launched by Hamas, the military wing. And remember that happened, that October 7th happened right, I think it was immediately after their Sukkot holiday ended, which represents Gog and Magog. And we called that shit right when it happened too. And then the rabbis started saying it.
Was the destruction of one of the holiest places in Islam and the rebuilding of a temple that is totally anathema to Christianity. Like, how did this happen? Well, there are a lot of ways it happened. The main way it happened is because no one in the United States noticed, because it's such a secular place, and as noted, we have eyes but can't see and ears and can't hear, but this has been going on a long time in public through, in part, the efforts of a group called Chabad, C-H-A-B-A-D. And you may know people who give money to Chabad or run into Chabad, super nice people, engaged in all kinds of charitable activities, drug rehab. There's a lot about Chabad that's really good. But what is Chabad exactly? Well, Chabad, you can look it up, is a very old organization, about 250 years old. And it's a branch of Hasidic Judaism. It's an organization that was overseen for many years by a guy called Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who was famously in Brooklyn, considered the Messiah by some of his followers, who was a friend of presidents, or certainly someone presidents visited. He was a very powerful man in the Orthodox and the Hasidic community. And he was the overseer of Chabad, which predated him and outlasted him, but he was its most visible ambassador. And Chabad has been pushing in a pretty subtle way, unless you look carefully, for the reconstruction of the Third Temple. And it seems like, from the reading we did recently, that those patches actually came from Chabad. Well, in any case, Chabad is pushing for the building of the Third Temple.
Remember when Trump got the Torah Crown Award? The Chabad rabbi introduced him for that award and said it was Tisha B'Av. And he says, Tisha B'Av is coming and we want to have Moshiach and we want to rebuild the Third Temple speedily in our day. And then he introduced Trump with his top Torah Crown Award. Also comes to mind. Remember this one? Trump, June 2025. Trump's letter to Chabad describes ushering in the messianic era of peace on earth, fulfilling the Rebbe's legacy, he writes. Through great strength, unflinching resolve, and much prayer, I am committed to restoring peace throughout the world, not least in the Middle East, as we witnessed over the past week, and to stamping out anti-Semitic hate wherever it rears its ugly head. They always say that shit. In doing this, we will restore our country to its tradition of greatness and usher in a new golden age of Edom and for the entire world. This, I believe, is the Rebbe's legacy. The Rebbe's legacy for the Messianic age and destroying. And I guess he also blames them on attacking Iran. Well, let's just go to Gog and Magog, Chabad.org, Terror in Our Time, Kabbalah Prophecies, based on Ezekiel 38 and 39. Identifies the West as Edom, and Ishmael will fight against each other because their religions are different. War between Persians. Both sides will fall. Hold on. The defeat of Gog and Magog will precipitate the messianic redemption. They need Edom to fall. They need their Gog and Magog war before their messianic age. And they're all going to say, oh, Tucker's out of his mind. This is so anti-Semitic. But it's like, we can just, it's all documented. They do want this messianic end times war. Look, here's the other one. The assault of Gog and Magog will befall the Jews shortly after the Messianic age has already begun, after the ingathering of the exiles, which was the creation of the state of Israel. Okay. Let's go see some more from Tucker here. Look, I want to see what Amalek posted. Look at how gleeful Jewish TV, JTV's reaction to Tucker is. It deflects from the reality that Judaism is pushing this by claiming it is simply God of Israel.
He sent $10.
Yeah!
Been really enjoying the content the last few weeks, especially the street interviews.
Oh, thank you. I got some more to edit. I got to still do the video out. Yeah, dude, Khazarian beef jerky. That is so funny. Dude, I love beef jerky. I'm on a beef jerky kick. Going to the gym, eating beef jerky.
So, while
the building of the third temple.
Wow. What can I say? Well, first of all, let's just clear this up. No, it is not Israeli or American policy to work right now towards rebuilding the third temple as explicit policy. And no, Chabad is not calling the shots. But spiritually speaking, the Jewish people as a collective.
They're like, what temple? What do you mean, Goy? We don't care about a temple. It's anti-Semitic to talk about. What are you, a temple denier?
At a grassroots level, we've been praying publicly, unapologetically, for 2,000 years for the rebuilding of the temple. We say it every single day in our prayers. May our eyes behold God's return to Zion. May Jerusalem be rebuilt. May we see the rebuilding of the Beit HaMikdash, the temple.
Yo, I got a merch idea. You guys want this for the next shirt? Moshiach Maxing. Third temple shirt design, Moshiach Maxing. In Chabad yellow. You guys ready for that?
So, while it may not be Israeli government policy, while it may not be, as I saw a tweet on X by Marco Fleischer, while it may not be the people of Israel's plan to make this war happen so that they can rebuild the third temple, it may well be the God of Israel's plan.
Oh, they always do this. It's not the Jews doing it. It's just God's plan. God's making it happen. God just coincidentally had them assassinate the supreme leader on Remember Amalek Day. It's just God doing everything. There's no God. It's only Jews and people. Give me a break.
And this is why it's so threatening to the anti-Semites of Tucker Carlson. All these events.
Because we're just jealous of God and their plan and that they're chosen. Unreal.
Him talking about the third temple, because this is what's really going on for them. Their hatred of Israel is theological. It challenges their whole narrative about theology, about who they are, about who the Jewish people are. Remember, he's been saying the Jews are no longer God's chosen people, and the Christians are now God's chosen people, and that God is done with Israel. That's his message.
Yeah, it's like a child blaming all their wrongdoings on their imaginary friend. It's not us, it's God. There was a headline once, it was like, it's not racism, it's Judaism. God said so.
And so when you start seeing these events happen, it's very, very threatening. But we're here to say to Tucker, yes.
The Goyim are scared.
I believe history is unfolding. It's not explicit Israeli government policy nor American policy, although I'll have you know that even...
I mean, we only got the Rebbe on camera with Netanyahu saying, you must do more to hasten Moshiach. Edom must fall. We need third temple. We must war with Iran. Come on. If they're putting it, the rabbis are all saying it publicly, you don't think they're saying that shit behind closed doors? Netanyahu got crowned and put into office by the Brazilian, was it Brazil? Yeah, Australian diamond tycoon Chabadnik.
Defense Secretary, or now he's known as Secretary of State for War, Pete Hegseth, did say a few years ago, before he was in government, that he was open to the rebuilding of the Third Temple. But the reason why this is so threatening to...
Yeah, and then he was open for the Third Temple, and now he's doing Secretary of War. You guys ready for a holy war, by the way?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallow. Get your Peter Thiel Hallow app. Watch out for the Antichrist. Hey, the UFO and the demons and the Khazarians are going to get you. Better believe in Jesus. Dude, we're being psyoped so hard. So Judeo-paradigm psyoped. It is...
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy.
It all fits together. It all fits together.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Help me, Jesus!
Give us this day
Help me,
our
Jewish
daily
God!
bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass.
Watch out for the gewiss nitrates and MS.
Oh, no, dude. I get the good stuff.
Natural grass-fed stuff.
Yeah. I just picked up a habanero something grass-fed, and it's so good. It's moist. It's fatty. It's like sweet, juicy. Oh, it's so good. Dude, Epstein was onto something. I've been sleeping on the beef jerky a little bit.
Against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Third Temple, chosen people, Gog and Magog.
Because his whole narrative, as I say, about who he is, about who the Jews are, about Israel's place in world destiny, is utterly, utterly demolished if history moves towards this conclusion. And, there's something really fascinating about anti-Semitism and anti-Semites. It's often the Jew haters, the anti-Semites, who in some ways know us best. They might not like it. Hitler didn't like what he saw, but he understood what it is that the Jews were.
Oh, we know.
The Jews introduced circumcision to the body and conscience to the soul.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Poetic.
That's a badge of honor. He just didn't...
Owns it!
He wanted a law of the jungle. He wanted social Darwinism. Might is right. The Aryans ruling, destroying the weak and the vulnerable. Judaism and the Torah taught, I am my brother's keeper. He didn't like that. And the same is true right now. Tucker...
No, he was a Christian prince.
Jealousy, resentment, who knows that the Jews are not God's chosen people, that Israel is irrelevant. And the biggest refutation of that would, of course, be the rebuilding of the Third Temple. And it's amazing how it's the anti-Semites who often wake us up to our own destiny, wake us up to what it is that we're meant to be bringing history towards.
Yeah, double down. That'll be great. Wow.
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
Oh, I want to watch this too at some point. Trent Horn versus Derek from Myth Vision. All right, let's go to the rest of Tucker. Wait a second. Hold on. RFK says we're in a spiritual war. That's the talking point. Might as well just say we're in a Jewish cosmic mystical war.
Jutsu sent $5 on Rumble. This is the Jewish final solution, and everyone is just going along with it.
Dude, trust the plan, bro. Have faith. God wins. It's in the Bible, bro.
I read about it in a book.
When we lose, we win, bro. We'll go to heaven. Treasures in heaven. This world doesn't even matter. We just all got to believe in Jesus.
And we have a spiritual malaise in this country. Suicide is now for certain groups of kids the highest cause of death. We have children who are lonely, who are isolated. We have a crisis of fragmentation and isolation around the country, and we need to start bringing people together and give them a sense of connection, give them a sense of community. And one of the ways to do that is to encourage them to go through this ancient ritual of making a meal with their family and then eating a meal with the family. And that is the basic core for reestablishing connection in the community. And President Trump understands that we're engaged right now in spiritual warfare, and that the malevolent forces want to drive us apart.
Maxed Out Bear sent $5 on
Thank you, Maxed Out Bear.
Shirt design. Ultra niche.
Yeah, I was just kidding about the shirt. Let's see. I had some other ones too. Oh, where is it? It's not coming up. Hold on. There we go. I'll find it. I'll make you guys laugh. I'll show you a little more. It's a spiritual war. We gotta believe in Jesus, says the Shmuley's buddy with the Rebbe behind him. Who his dad even went and visited and loved Chabad as well. Also connected with Chabadniks. When Candace Owens first mentioned the Rebbe, he came out in defense, wrote a big viral tweet in defense of the Rebbe.
The malevolent forces want to drive us apart and end our connection to each other. And one of the ways that we can remedy that is by, again, reinstituting this sacred ritual of eating with each other and cooking with each other.
Okay, that's not even bad. That's not even bad. That's good advice. Look, Alex Jones says it's the British Empire. Speaking of the Rebbe, look at this. The Rebbe needed one of these. Never beating the accusations, guys. This rabbi has a gold money shooter to hand out that charity, those dollar bills. Dude, the Rebbe would have saved so much time if he had one of these. Dude, they give each other coins on holidays. They give the kids coins, shekel coins on holidays with chocolate. And then they're shooting out of their gold-plated guns, shooting out dollar bills. So funny. Dude, they're all grabbing them like a bunch of ducks at the pond when you throw out some breadcrumbs. Wow.
Stereotyping Jews is terrible.
That is amazing. Thank you, Adam King, for sharing that. That was quite the clip. Quite the clip there. Okay. Oh, hold on. Before we get into Tucker's full Chabad thing, let's just close some of these tabs out. So here is, remember, when Trump gets in, he appoints Mel Gibson, who's coming out with the new Passion of the Christ, 2 of them, the Resurrection of the Christ, 2 movies. The Messianic mania is going to go insane when those movies come out next year. We got the Dune Messiah movie too, Messianic hysteria.
Talk about the book. I think has too big of a pussy to have you on.
I don't know. He might. He hinted that he would maybe come on for a debate or something. I sent him a book. We'll see. If he wants the views, maybe he doesn't want the views. But I am having Skrbina on tomorrow to talk about it. Skrbina, who wrote the Jesus hoax. He disagrees with the heavenly Messiah explanation, I think. He said something about that. So that's going to be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Did I show you guys this one? Dude, new shirt, Moshiach Maxing. For all the Chabad watchers out there. Sported by none other than Jesus. None other than Jesus. Rabbi Yeshua Moshiach shirts? Merch ideas? I don't know. Okay, anyway. Trump gets in, he appoints John Voight and Mel Gibson to special ambassadors to Hollywood, whatever that does. John Voight, who is seen here as a big Noahide Chabad shill. And he also, always backs Trump. It says Trump is backed by God. Here he is with Rabbi shilling Chabad, the good Noahide John Voight, who Trump made ambassador to Hollywood.
Just to let you know that I never really met the Rebbe, but I did have a talk with him over the phone, and I got instructions from him and encouragements to read the Noahide laws at one time, and I did, and I was deeply moved to do so. Now, the Gentiles, of which I am one, have only 7 laws that were required by our Creator, while the Jews have 613 laws that they have to follow.
Don't feel left out, Mr. Voigt. Yeah, many of them have laws to do with the temple that's soon going to be rebuilt, but it's not there yet.
But anyway,
Chabad doesn't want to rebuild the temple. What are they talking about? What is Tucker talking about? They're not interested in the third temple. Yeah, it's like their main obsession always.
Wonderful thing to remind ourselves of these laws. Here's the first one. Acknowledge that, just to let you know that I never really met the Rebbe, but I...
John Voight. Here's what I predicted a week before. Look, Trump before the election on October 7th, on the anniversary of October 7th. Before the election, Trump and Lutnick and Ben Shapiro went and visited the Rebbe's grave, as did Ivanka and Kushner before 2020 and 2016 elections. And I predicted it a week before. Crazy. Crown.
Briefly, Mashiach actually is going to come to 770. What this will represent to the world, not only that the Jewish people...
770, the Moshiach's going to come to Chabad Lubavitch headquarters. And they say comes from New York also. Another rabbi says the Moshiach comes from New York. What is the street they live on? 770 Crown Heights? I think that's what it is. That's funny that he says the Messiah is going to come to visit the Rebbe. What if Trump goes and visits the Rebbe's grave? Kushner's been there. Oh, Kushner, duh. Kushner went there before the election. Kushner got $1 when he was a kid.
Number 2, and we've said this many times, so I'll go through it briefly. Mashiach actually is going to come to 770. What this will represent to the world, not only that the Jewish people are the chosen people, nobody should take this wrong, but Chabad is the chosen way. Just like the whole world will see the Jewish people are chosen, we'll see the Chabad Hasidus is chosen. Now, briefly, Mashiach actually is going to come to 770.
Okay, there it is. So that was a week before, because of that random rabbi clip saying that. Trump's letter to the Rebbe. Hold on, what else do we have here? Trump nominated an Israeli-born Chabad rabbi as the anti-Semitism czar. We are so cooked. Yehuda Kaplan, Miami businessman, head of the anti-Semitism envoy, Chabad rabbi, connected through the Adelsons. He gets in and he's quoted saying, "Oh, it's just our situation is similar to the Jews in 1930s Germany," which I had already done a show on, that's the narrative. It could happen here. That's why all the low IQ peasant mob anti-Semitism is being boosted everywhere on social media. Okay, before we get to that crazy prophecy, look, here's the clip from John, and see through it all. When John posts it over a year ago, gets 470 likes. When this guy, this I think is Muslim guy, posts it, it gets a 1.2 million likes and 8,000 likes. See what I'm saying? This happens every single time, by the way. We get the rabbi clips, we do the mixes, we post them, they get nothing, barely any traction. Other people mirror them, they blow up on every platform. Stories old as time. This is one of him talking about having 2,800 Jewish slaves.
The Jews will settle the entire biblical land of Israel, from the Nile to the Euphrates.
It will encompass not only Gaza, Yehuda, and Shomron, but also the entire Lebanon, parts of Turkey, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. The Talmud in Shabbat 32b says that when Mashiach comes, every Jew will have 2,800 non-Jewish servants. This is based on a verse in Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. The Jews will settle the...
Okay. In case anybody's new and they were living under a rock, Trump with the Rebbe of Chabad telling him to do more so that Moshiach comes, which clearly involves rebuilding the temple, which needs to be, and he goes, yes, I'll come back to you, I'll listen. Okay, just closing out some of these tabs. Let's do some more Tucker.
In conflict, but in competition. It's a safe bet that almost no one involved in the war now ongoing in Iran and the Gulf would like to see it continue much longer. If you were to poll, well, the Iranians or the Americans, basically anybody, how long do you want this to go? Very few people would say, I want it to go a long time. But that doesn't mean it won't go a long time. Unfortunately, it is likely to. It's unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. Of course, that could prove to be untrue. You never know. It's an utterly dynamic situation. But big picture, there are still a couple of unresolved questions that this war may resolve. This war may be the only thing that resolves them. And so until there's a consensus on the answers to those questions, it probably is going to continue. What are those questions? Well, the first is geopolitical, and it's the biggest question of all, which is who runs the world? Who gets to make the decisions? Not simply who's richest, but who makes the rules, who sets the terms. And for most of our lifetimes, there has been no question about that. The answer has been the United States. The United States.
No way. Somebody just told me it looks like my book has been taken off of Amazon. If my book got taken down off Amazon, that is going to be crazy. No way. Somebody just told me that, and I clicked the link, and it's down. You got to be kidding me.
The rules. The United States runs the world. That's been true in the western half of the world since 1945, when the U.S. emerged stronger and richer than any other nation after the end of World War II. And it's been true since August of 1991.
Okay, it's still up. My link is broken. Oh, no, it says currently unavailable. What the fuck? You got to be kidding me. Dude, I wish I had the heart rate monitor on right now so I can show you guys how much it's going up. You got to be fucking kidding me.
The collapse of the Soviet Union. The United States has reigned in a unipolar world. That's what they call it. There's just one pole. There's one center of gravity. There's one power center, and that's been the United States. But that has changed over the past several years, maybe decades, certainly since China was admitted into the WTO in 2001. Now it is a multipolar world. You've heard that phrase, no doubt, and that means there are at least a couple centers of gravity. Really, there are two. There's the U.S., and the constellation of states with which it's allied, and then there is on the...
Okay, they're telling me there's an Amazon outage right now. I hope that's what it is. Okay, Amazon is just down. Oh my God, guys, I almost had a fucking freak out. Cortisol spiked so much.
The eastern hemisphere of the globe, China. And China is now a peer with the United States, at least, almost no matter how you measure it. Population, of course, much bigger. Military power, well, we're not quite sure, but certainly from a technological and industrial output standpoint.
Oh my God, It's like I can't ever watch anything in full. Here, I forgot to show this too. Hold on.
As we're in the midst of the
trip day after day.
Here's the rabbi introducing Trump at the Israel Heritage Foundation, the Chabad rabbi. He was there with Trump visiting the Rebbe's grave, by the way. And he goes, we want to rebuild the temple, and here's Donald Trump.
3 weeks, we mourn, and when it comes the big day of Tisha B'Av, we cry, and we have the great beliefs that very soon we will be Zoiche, we will all see the building of...
Oh, did he just say Zokor? Is that remember? Like the holiday was called Zochor. It sounded like it to me.
In Jerusalem very soon. We will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem very soon. We know one of the reasons of the destruction of the Holy Temple was Jews were not united. Jews were not loving each other. I don't want to say anything negative, but they were not positive, friendly, lovely. And our job to bring and to build a third temple is to unite. How appropriate it is tonight that we see all kinds of people, religious, not religious, Jews, not Jews, come together and we honor our President Trump for what he has done for Jerusalem and for the Jewish people. We all recognize what he has done for us, and he'll be awarded tonight with the Keter of Jerusalem award, which he very much deserves. And we hope that this message will go out to the world, knowing that Jerusalem is a state of Jewish people, and Jewish people should be able to live in Jerusalem the way we Americans live in America.
Look at this one, another prediction. This is what I was saying in June 2023. According to many Christians, Trump coming in 2024 to save America from the darkness.
We thank Hashem for giving us this beautiful America that we all could serve the Almighty. We should never be embarrassed here in America being Jewish or doing anything as a Jew does. To the entire world.
Thank you for your service.
And then he says Moshiach in our day, and then they give Trump the Torah Crown Award, and then 6 or 7 months later they give him the Prince of Peace, Messianic Isaiah, scripture from Isaiah, the Prince of Peace Award, menorah. Look, this is why I was so confident Trump and Netanyahu were going to come back, was stuff like this. Right after October 7th, he calls it the war between the light and the darkness, calls him Amalek. The Sanhedrin minted a coin in Trump's first term, 2020. Trump and Bibi, the sons of war of the sons of light against the sons of darkness. The same group that did the temple, the Trump Cyrus coin, the Abraham Accords coin, the Third Temple coin, and the war of sons of light and sons of darkness.
There are quite a number of documents from the...
And then look at what the rabbis are saying. The war between the Christians and the Muslims, Putin and Trump. And then he says they're in the middle of it. Okay, I can't listen to that anymore. All right. Dude, Tucker's just yapping.
At least appear. And then on a pure economic level, well, China has a bigger economy, a bigger real economy than the United States. So yes, China is a peer. And so the question is, since you now have two countries that are roughly evenly matched, we think, we never do know until they come into conflict, but they seem roughly evenly matched, who gets to set the terms for commerce and diplomacy and everything else that happens on the globe? Well, if you were to reach a diplomatic solution, there would be, in effect, a power sharing agreement between these two countries. You take the East, I take...
On my website, in the description below, on Amazon at The Jesus Deception.
The West.
But apparently Amazon's down right now. But you can also get it on my website.
But unfortunately, no such agreement, formal or informal, has been reached for a bunch of reasons. It's everybody's fault. But one of the reasons is almost nobody in Washington can get his head around the current, present, obvious reality, which is, no, we don't run everything anymore. We are in competition, not necessarily in conflict, but in competition with this other country that's at least as powerful as we are, called China, different system, language, culture, etc., but at least every bit as powerful.
Bruh.
And so you can't make unilateral decisions anymore. It's sort of that moment that many parents face when face reality. Afghanistan, for both in history, there's was the place where, but the bottom line was, in AD 70, the Romans besieged Jerusalem, finally broke through the walls, and tore that temple stone from stone. Not a single stone left upon another. Really a kind of dedication to destruction that's hard for the modern mind to imagine. We talk about genocide this, genocide that. The Romans tried to genocide the Jews for real. And they succeeded in destroying the temple. And with it, Temple Judaism, Torah Judaism. You can't have the religion that existed before AD 70, after AD 70, because there's no temple. And so this has been an open wound for 2,000 years, and certainly understandably. People have wanted.
Europeans sent $5 over. The white goys are becoming more tribal. We need to make them become Christian and preach the verse, we are all one in Christ. No wonder they have a black woman promoting Christianity.
Yeah, Candace Owens. Yeah, that's probably going to be his spin, too. It's going to be like, already he's Jesus smuggling. He's like, not one stone would be left upon another. You mean like the Jesus prophecy? And that's why the Christians all cope and they try to deny and say the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall, is a Roman fort wall. That's just a kooky Christian conspiracy cope because Jesus said not one stone would be left upon another. It is a Herodian-style wall, not a Roman military fort wall. Not the same style. That's just one of the many Christian disinfo theories out there.
To rebuild the temple, to build what they call the third temple, to reestablish this religion at its birthplace. There are a couple problems with this.
And he's like, and if they can't practice their religion anymore, and it's not the same religion, that's Christian cope too. It's like, it's the same religion, they just had to make do without the temple. It just morphed a bit.
One, exactly 500 years after Titus destroyed the temple in AD 70, in AD 570, a man called Muhammad was born in Mecca and built one of the world's great religions, the world's second largest religion as it stands today, in a very short period. His name was Muhammad. He was born in Mecca. He died in...
You may have heard of him. His name was Muhammad.
In the meantime, he built, or inspired the building of, within 50 years of his death...
I never saw those comments, Zornder Edom. Oh, 2 1-star reviews. One says Christ is king, and one says demonic garbage. That's so funny. I had not seen those. That's hilarious. They would.
One of the great religious monuments in the world, certainly one of the prettiest, called the Dome of the Rock, and it's in Jerusalem on Moriah. In fact, built over the foundation stone. And if you've ever been to Jerusalem, or if you've ever seen photographs of it, you will remember vividly a gold dome. It's called the Dome of the Rock. Why is it called that? Because there's a rock underneath it, the foundation stone, that is built on the site of the Second Temple. And that's in what's known as the Al-Aqsa complex. There's a mosque next door called the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And that spot is one of 3 holy places, apparently co-equal holy places, in Islam: Mecca, Medina, Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa. So that is at the very center of Judaism. I mean, physically the center of Judaism, that spot, that exact spot over the foundation stone, and Islam. And it has been occupied by a mosque. A mosque has been sitting there since the 7th century.
Jared Kushner with the Rebbe getting his dollar.
Amazing. You may be dimly aware of this. Now, why go on at length about this? Because now is the moment, right now, like this week, is the moment that some people, not a huge number, most people, Christians, Jews, Muslims, are not fully aware of all this, but some people are highly aware of it and would like to begin the process of tearing down the Dome of the Rock, tearing down Al-Aqsa Mosque, and rebuilding the Third Temple. Now, there are a lot of things to say about this, about its likelihood, the potential effects of it. But first, just a quick side note on the theology of this from a Christian point of view. Now, it was Jesus who said this temple will be torn down, shocking everyone around him. If it's in the Gospels, it's in at least a couple of Gospels.
The Gospels are written after the temple was destroyed. Let's not be retarded here. President Trump welcomes pastors from across the nation for a moment of prayer in the Oval Office.
I pray for your grace and your protection over him.
He loves doing this.
Protection over our troops. resources. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give.
Is
Singing metal.
Paula White gonna sing in tongues?
I wish for once you could get on Tucker or Rogan, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever. I just want to see the look on their faces as the information sinks in. Kind of like what I've been through watching your show.
Dude, I think Danny Jones would be cool to talk to. He's not a Christian. He has some skepticism with a lot of these theories I've been noticing. But Rogan's too busy shilling Jesus. He's not going to have me on to talk about Jesus is fake and Abrahamic religions are a big psyop. Is Paula White going to speak in tongues?
To lead our great nation as we come back to one day.
Dude, all these hardcore Zionists. Not an anti-Israel person in the bunch.
Your heavenly blessing upon him in Jesus' name. Amen. I pray for your
winning. Hey, prayer, bring back prayer for our holy war.
And the people who heard it just couldn't believe it. And of course, the people running the temple, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, were gravely offended by it. Why wouldn't they be? But then it happened. Less than 40 years later, it actually happened. He was right. He called it. And so from a Christian perspective, he did that. God called for the destruction of the temple. And as Jesus says plainly in the Gospels, I'm the temple. I'm the temple now. The temple will be rebuilt after 3 days. When I'm resurrected, I am the new temple. It says that.
Yeah. After the temple was destroyed. Obviously. Stop being so gullible. See, already this is turning into he's turning into a preacher. This is a sermon. I thought we were exposing Chabad, and it's turning into a Moshiach Jesus sermon.
But there has been at least one attempt in the last 2,000 years to rebuild a physical third temple, and it happened in the 4th century. And it happened, without getting too far afield, shortly after the death of Constantine. Now, Constantine was the 4th century Roman emperor who converted to Christianity and very famously turned the Roman Empire Christian, thereby spreading Christianity basically instantly across the West, where it's remained, more or less, ever since. That was in the 300s, the 4th century. Now, his nephew became emperor not long after he died, and his name was Julian, referred to very often by Christian historians as Julian the Apostate, and he was an apostate. He was the last non-Christian emperor of Rome.
If only Julian, if the different timeline, if Julian didn't fail, he could have saved us. Julian could have saved us.
The Roman Empire. And he had been born a Christian, apparently.
Yeah, hail Julian.
Enthusiastic, pagan, polytheist, and very aggressively opposed to Christianity. And for that reason, Julian the Apostate decided in 363 to rebuild the third temple. So it has been tried. For those who were thinking, could this ever happen? Oh, it happened. They tried to rebuild. He spent a ton of money doing it in 363.
Inflation makes credit card statements.
Is he gonna say that fire came from the earth? Is he gonna do that retardation? That obvious Christian embellishment and exaggeration?
Used to be able to afford without thinking that much about it. Then the banks charge you 20% interest if the system is.
Come on, bro.
They are helping save.
Building the third temple. And this comes from building the third
temple. Give American Financing a call. 800-685-5696. That's 1-800-685-5696.
Blah, 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 blah.
.net/Tucker. America's home for home.
So he's going to say that Chabad's at fault for, or they're behind our bombing of Iran, and they're like, that's so anti-Semitic. He's the next Hitler, you know. And look at this. From TikTok, that's the social media for some Chabadnik Jews. They say, the Talmud, right before the coming of the Messiah, Persia, modern-day Iran, will fall into the hands of Rome, the West led by the USA. Yoma 10a, Gog and Magog maxing. But then now that Tucker notices it, they'll be like, it's God. What do you mean? What are you, anti-Semitic?
Home loans.
What happened next? Well, let's read the account of the only attempt ever made at rebuilding the third temple. And this comes from a personal friend of Julian the Apostate who wrote it contemporaneously. And we still have it, amazingly, all these years later. I'm quoting. Julian thought to rebuild at an extravagant expense the proud temple once at Jerusalem and committed this task to Alypius of Antioch. Alypius set vigorously to work and was seconded by a governor of the province. When fearful balls of fire breaking out near the foundations of the building continued their attacks till the workmen, after repeated scorchings, could approach no more. And he gave up the attempt. By the way, just a few months later, Emperor Julian the Apostate was killed. You know what he was killed doing? Invading Iran. invading Iran in 363. Yeah, he was killed doing that. So it was during his invasion of Iran that he decided to rebuild the temple. You can't make this up. And we're not making up Israel. And by the way, there was an earthquake at the same time. There are many accounts of what happened when they tried to rebuild it. And all of them describe the earth rending and flames coming out. And it all sounds kind of spooky and supernatural. It's just too perfect, right? Jesus tears down the temple and begins.
Yeah, it sounds a little supernatural and miracle. And he's tying it to Jesus and God. Yeah, God sent fireballs to stop you from rebuilding it. Totally. Yeah, keep running with that, and they're going to rebuild it anyway. Don't worry about it, Goy. God will stop them. You don't got to stop them. God will stop them.
With God directly through him. No need for a building anymore in Jerusalem. A city he went out of his way not to spend the night in. Walk over to the Mount of Olives, even after the Last Supper. But whatever. And there's this one attempt by a guy who hates Christianity to
Jesus hates Jerusalem.
Rebuild the third temple. And by the way, the workmen get burned by fire from the ground in an earthquake. And you can sort of laugh at that if you're a rationalist, a materialist, a modern man, until archaeologists discovered that actually there was a big earthquake in the region, from Galilee to Jerusalem in 363. So that actually happened. In any case, why the long history lesson? Because it's not history anymore. It's happening right now.
They have a fake story, too, in 2 Maccabees that talks about a thick liquid hidden in a pit that consumed a sacrifice that was a miracle confirming the restoration of the temple. So they bullshit their stories. Yeah, Jesus smuggling.
Key players involved in this war, the one happening tonight, who believe that what we're seeing on our television screens and on Twitter will usher in a series of events that begin with the destruction of the Dome on the Rock, Aqsa Mosque, and then the rebuilding of the third temple, after which the world will end. God will come back. And they mean it. And by they, we mean literally some of the guys fighting the war. So you may have read reports today that commanders in the field of American troops, a lot of them, and who knows if this is true, but it's out there, told their troops on the eve of the outbreak of this war that we're doing this for Jesus, because it is Jesus' will that we do this, and that by doing it, we will usher in a series of events that bring about the end of history, the end of time, Armageddon, the last days. It's hard to believe that's true, especially since, by the way, there are 1 million Christians in Iran. So if you were doing this for Jesus, presumably you would go out of your way not to hurt his followers in the country you're attacking. Did the U.S. government or any government make any attempt to spare the Christians? Are we making an attempt tonight? Of course we're not. And of course, when the smoke clears, ultimately we will find out, just a guess, that Christians suffer disproportionately in this, as they do all wars, from the Iraq War to the bombing of Nagasaki, the seat of the Christian church in Japan, et cetera, et cetera. Christians have a way of dying disproportionately in these wars, which tells you something about their real motive. But in any case, there was a spate of stories suggesting that
So the true believers just get killed. Great sign that their religion is real.
U.S. commanders told their troops they were doing this for some weird anti-Christian reason posing as Christianity. But it's not just the U.S. side. Here's an IDF soldier, apparently an American by his accent, describing why he's at war. Watch this.
They call this operation the Swords of Iron. But what are we really fighting for? We're fighting for the right of the Jewish people to exist, be Jewish, practice their religion, and be free. And one day our true leader will come and we'll be united as a whole Jewish nation so we can rebuild the Beit HaMikdash.
Beit HaMikdash, probably mispronouncing it. That's the Hebrew term for the temple, the third temple. We are doing
Beit HaMikdash.
The temple. Now you'll notice he's pulling off patches on Velcro on his IDF uniform. These are not civilian.
They have Moshiach patches too.
This is the uniform.
Probably also from Chabad.
Of its military. And he has patches on that uniform, one of which is a symbol of the temple, the third temple. So it just couldn't be clearer. Why are we doing this? To rebuild the third temple. Now, if you think we're just cherry picking this off the internet, one guy wearing an unauthorized temple patch.
Mcabee 6969420 sent $5 on Rumble. Just let them build the temple and see if a Messiah comes or not, then case closed.
The thing about Judaism end times prophecy is it's not dependent on supernatural. It's a political leader. If they have a prime minister that's a political leader, wins in war or something, they'll just call him the Moshiach. He's not going to float down from the clouds like Jesus or all this supernatural mythological stuff in Christianity and Islam's end times prophecies. So no, I mean, in theory, I would say, who cares? Their prophecies aren't real. It's not going to happen. But if they get closer and closer and keep fulfilling different parts of their prophecies, we know how the story ends, and it's not good. So I'm opposed. Thank you, Stinging Metal.
Paid for, by the way, a uniform paid by us, armaments paid for by us. The U.S. taxpayer pays for all this stuff one way or another. The U.S. taxpayer pays for the military of Israel. Boy, does it. If you think we're being unfair and just like found one guy, well, here's a bunch of guys. It took us about 2 minutes on the internet to find this today. Here is a selection of IDF soldiers. Let's put it on the screen. There you go. And all of them have the same patch. Look for me. Look carefully at that. What is that? That's the temple. That is the third temple. And we'll get to in a minute about how this might actually happen and what it would mean for the rest of the world. And just to be clear,
remember when Trump's Zionist friend said this when he moved the embassy?
Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state, and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel. Donald Trump recognized history.
These are conversations that most Americans, certainly me included, never wanted to have. Everybody's religious beliefs, sincere religious beliefs, when held up to the light of the rational world, to the man-made world, seem a little spooky and crazy, which is one of the reasons that in the culture some of us grew up in, we don't talk about them in public because they're personal. They're the most personal part of a person. So,
$5. The Aryan tradition is a spirituality and philosophy centered around victory, hierarchy, excellence, life affirmation and transcendence, rather than one of submission, pity, equality, slavery, life denial and vicarious atonement to a foreign savior.
Yeah, that's a big issue. That is an issue for sure. Thank you.
Out judgment, by the way, that
New
we're
Yorker
airing.
in exile sent $5. Their prophecies are conspiracies.
Yeah, they're a delusion. It's mass psychosis. Anybody that believes in prophecy, that's what I always say. The Jesus deception is just a prophecy deception. That's the first 2 chapters of the book, basically. And the real litmus test is if you believe the prophecies are real or not. If you do, you're making Jews gods and you're going along with their script. Simple as that. Do Christians and Muslims believe in Jewish prophecies? Yes, they do. Case closed. Part of the problem.
Yes. Okay? Just describing it because it is significant to the future of the world, to the future of this war, and to our future as Americans.
Hey, speaking of the Dome of the Rock and the Third Temple, here's the Temple Institute Rabbi Richmond with Pete Hegseth. Big smiles and thumbs up with the Dome of the Rock in the background.
So how exactly did the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, a military that the U.S. taxpayer pays for, that lots of wealthy Americans send money to friends of the IDF, how did all these guys wind up wearing patches suggesting the point of this war was the destruction of one of the holiest places in Islam and the rebuilding of a temple that is totally anathema to Christianity? Like, how did this happen? Well, there are a lot of ways it happened.
Look at this thumbnail.
Because no one in the United States noticed, because it's such a secular place, and as noted, we have eyes but can't see and ears.
Oh, no one noticed, huh?
In public, through, in part, the efforts of a group called Chabad, C-H.
Oh, yeah, nobody noticed Chabad, huh? Okay. Tucker, is this your new development here? Tucker stumbled upon something deep, guys. He went deep down the rabbit hole. Nobody's talked about this, huh? Maybe he'll bring Ian Carroll on next to talk about it.
And you may know people who give money to Chabad or run into Chabad, super nice people, engage in all kinds of charitable activities, drug rehab. There's a lot about Chabad that's really good. But what is Chabad exactly? Well, Chabad, you can look it up, is a very old organization, about 250 years old. And it's a branch of Hasidic Judaism. It's an organization that was overseen for many years by a guy called Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who was famously in Brooklyn, considered the Messiah by some of his followers.
Mystics sent $5. If their prophecies don't come true, they might make it happen with nukes. That's what kind of people they are.
Yeah, they say that.
It's fun. We live in an ancient time.
Who was a friend of presidents, or certainly someone presidents visited. He was a very powerful man in the Orthodox and the Hasidic community. And he was the overseer of Chabad, which predated him and outlasted him, but he was its most visible ambassador. And Chabad has been pushing in a pretty subtle way, unless you look carefully, for the reconstruction of the Third Temple. And it seems like, from the reading we did recently, that those patches actually came from Chabad. Well, in any case.
Okay, also, here's Milei, president of Argentina, visits Chabad before and after his election, here crying at the Wailing Wall, talking about the Talmud and rebuilding the temple also.
No more disheartening scene than that took place after the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans.
Se encontraba Rabbi Akiva y sus colegas observando el monte del templo en ruinas y vieron a un zorro salir del lugar más santo de lo que era el templo.
Rabbi Akiva and his colleagues were observing the Temple Mount in ruins, and they saw a fox leave the holiest of holies in the temple.
No podría haber una escena más desalentadora que aquella.
There could have been no more disheartening scene than that.
Frente a esta terrible escena, los rabinos lloraron en señal de duelo, pero Rabbi Akiva comenzó a reír.
In the face of this terrible scene, the rabbis cried in mourning, but Rabbi Akiva started to laugh.
Sus colegas le preguntaron cómo podía reír frente a semejante tragedia, a lo que Rabbi Akiva respondió.
His colleagues asked how he could possibly laugh in the face of such a tragedy, to which Rabbi Akiva answered.
Hay una profecía acerca de la destrucción que relata que un zorro irrumpiría en el lugar más santo.
There's a prophecy about the destruction that says that a fox will break into the holiest of holies.
También hay otra profecía que relata que este mismo lugar será reconstruido.
There is another prophecy that says that the same place will be rebuilt.
Ahora que veo con mis propios ojos cumplirse la primera profecía,
now that I see with my own eyes the first prophecy come true,
me río de alegría y esperanza, ya que de seguro se cumplirá.
Oh, the prophecy of the fox. Like, where's the rabbi? Shoot. Where's the rabbi with the cage that let the fox out for the photo at the Temple Mount? Fox spotted along walls of Temple Mount sparks talk of prophecy. A sign of the end. Get the hell out of here.
תשעה באב, שועל בירושלים מדלג, כמו שנאמר, שועלים ילכו בו. איפה הוא יורד? איפה יורד? הנה השועל, איזה יופי.
Okay, we got it. There's the fox.
I laugh in joy and full of hope, as the second prophecy will surely come true.
Of rebuilding the temple. Wants the temple to be rebuilt. I bet you he shilled for Milei. Who wants to bet he endorsed Milei too? Chabad dancing We Want Moshiach Now. This is months before the election with Trump and Moshiach flags. Trump flag and Moshiach flags.
What time is it? It's almost 6?
Case, Chabad is pushing for the building of the Third Temple. But it's not just Hasidic groups from Brooklyn, and it's not just IDF soldiers. There are, amazingly, a lot of American evangelical leaders, Christian Zionists, whose main point is rebuilding the Third Temple. Now, how could an American Christian or any Christian call for the building of a temple whose inherent presence denies Christ? Who said clearly, and Christians believe this, it's a core point of faith, I am the temple. You want to speak to God, you speak through me. That's Christianity. That's the whole religion right there. So if you're a Christian preacher calling for the rebuilding of the Third Temple, you kind of missed the whole point. That's more than apostasy. That's like not even knowing what the religion's about. So it's hard to believe there could be any ordained Christian leaders pushing for the rebuilding of the Third Temple. Oh, but there are a lot. There are a lot. And here's just one. This is Pastor Greg Locke. Listen to this.
The Gaza Strip, which has now been cut off by Israel, and rightly so, they should have cut them off a long time ago. I don't care how insensitive you think I am to that. There's 6 doors in this church. You can leave anytime you want to. They've cut them off, electricity. They've cut off their water. They should have. Now, listen, I'm not for hurting anyone that's innocent. But anybody that supports terrorism is not innocent. You understand that? Israel should make the Gaza Strip a parking lot by this time next week. Destroy the whole thing. What they ought to do
they did that.
Up there on the hill, and get a great big missile and blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus. Hallelujah, God!
Boy, it is embarrassing and shameful as an American Christian to hear that and to know that video is from a few years ago. It's been on the internet. No one bothered to highlight it.
What? Maybe he means nobody like with millions of followers like him. Because you bet your ass I posted that video and covered it on my show a million times.
The Christians evangelists here in America, which almost all of them are Republicans, they're probably all going to vote for Trump, and they are very pro-Israel. They are the ones that, thanks to them, United States always been with Israel in the last few decades. If you take out Christianity out of the picture, what United States had to do with Israel? The only things they are helping us is because of religion reason. The Christians evangelists here in America...
Thanks, Christians. Thanks, Christians.
Most people weren't even aware this was going on. Oh, it's definitely going on. These are very common views. Seems obvious that Mcabee has them, that a lot of the Christian Zionists, John Hagee, that you think just like Israel. They just like Israel a lot. No. These are clerics, so their lives are informed by their religious views. What are their religious views? Well, you just heard it right there from Pastor Locke, who's quite a prominent Christian Zionist. He's not some lone wacko. And there he is with an Israeli flag waving behind him, casual calls for genocidal violence. Just blow it up, make it a parking lot. Well, 2 million people live there. What happens to them? They're terrorist sympathizers. That right there is the tell. This is not Christianity.
Christy Noem is fired?
Just kill them all. They're terrorists. Is there anything in the gospel that suggests Jesus believed that? No, there's a lot to suggest, in fact, to tell us in very clear terms. He thought the opposite, of course. But the last part, let's build the third...
Christy Noem, the Christian Zionist, just got fired from Homeland Security? Why is that? Remember South Park making fun of her? That was good.
Temple and bring about the return of Jesus is a direct contradiction of core Christian theology. And even people without theology degrees who didn't go to some eminent Bible college can tell you, what? Jesus says, I am the temple. That is not Christianity. It's not even a close facsimile of Christianity. It's clearly evil. And it is, in some sense, the driving force behind the efforts to rebuild the third temple. Julian the Apostate, who was the last guy to try it, who died invading Iran, he was not Jewish. He was a pagan, just like Pastor Locke. But
oh yeah, let's blame pagans, not the Bible and the Jews and Christians and Jesus believer. Yeah, let's blame pagans. There we go. There it is. Yeah, dude, it's just like a pagan problem. This is the Christian spin that they put on it. Meanwhile, all the Christians are calling these Christian crusaders like Tucker heretics and pagans. They're calling Nick Fuentes a pagan.
For some reason, he was the instrument of trying to do this. And there are many of these people, and not just in the theological realm, in the political realm. And that's relevant to you, whether you believe in God or not, or interested in the history of the Abrahamic faiths or not. Global leaders believe this. People you wouldn't expect, and you wonder, what is going on here? Something
like who, Malay?
Did everyone know there was an effort to rebuild the third temple and the foundation stone, except me? I can't believe I was part of this conversation. No, all of us took place in public. And if we'd been...
Dude, and I'm not the only one, but yes, I've been screaming about the third temple. Maybe if I didn't get my YouTube channel banned and get blacklisted and suppressed everywhere. Look.
Dome of the Rock.
I mean,
the temple is...
If all you got to do is just like pay attention to Judaism and rabbis a little bit, and you can't miss the third temple. They're obsessed with it. Moshiach, third temple is like the foundation of Judaism. And this dude just learned about it yesterday and is like, oh my God, why is nobody talking about this? It's so anti-Christian.
Focus of our prayers. We mourn the temple's destruction.
We really kind of focus as Jews spiritually to the destruction of the second temple. This is about construction. And the third temple is integration. Everybody comes to the third temple.
The temple is the spiritual center of the Jewish people,
and it is sort of like the soul of the Jewish people. In the same way that a person who is colorblind, you can't describe to him what red and green are, it's hard to describe exactly what we're missing because we haven't really experienced it in a long time.
Our prayers are always focused on the rebuilding of the temple. 7 times a day, in our official formal prayer services, we ask for the rebuilding of the temple. Now, if you would count the number of prayers that constitutes over the last 2,000 years, it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of prayers. It's billions of prayers. We are very focused on needing the temple.
It is a
Tucker's like, this is all new to me. I've never heard of this before.
Controversial question at the holiest site on earth.
On the Temple Mount cannot be any other house of prayer just...
Is he going to even mention the red heifers? Does Adam King get no love in this? No red heifers have been burnt and sacrificed so that they can cleanse themselves and rebuild the temple?
The house of God.
And that it was a Christian Zionist rancher from Texas that helped breed the cows?
The Temple of God, El-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock that were built on the location of the temple will be removed. We have very good engineers that will take them stone by stone and rebuild them back in Mecca, the most holy place of the Muslims.
Who was making AI images like this in
Come again.
2023?
The third temple.
Any idea of rebuilding the temple?
Before Trump announced he was running again, I was making AI images and doing shows about this.
Obviously, would cause a lot of problems. I'm not looking to do it that way. This is the chief rabbi of Haifa some years ago said, when will we rebuild the temple? Is when the Arabs ask us to rebuild the temple.
Been paying attention or been tuned into that frequency, the spiritual frequency, we've been spiritually sensitive enough to pay attention, we would have known this. But of course, when you grew up in a materialist culture...
Oh, if you would have known, it's materialists and atheists that are the problem. That's why we don't know about the Third Temple agenda. Okay.
We'll build the third temple. We will do animal sacrifices again, and God will give us the whole of Israel, all the way up to the Euphrates River and down to the Nile River. We'll have the greater Israel that we've always dreamed of, and we won't have to believe in Jesus to get it. That's what you guys are. Maybe you'll be alive. Hopefully you'll be alive to see it. But that's the truth. We will rebuild the third temple.
This is my thread all about rebuilding the temple.
Presented with a photograph of one of the most sacred places in Jerusalem. But the image had been altered to show the Jewish third temple on the site where the Islamic Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock are currently situated. The third temple is a biblical reference to a new place of worship to replace an ancient one which was destroyed.
This president, he understood. When nobody else understood, he understood we're not talking politics. We're not talking politics. We're talking Torah. We're talking prophets. That's what it's all about. And once we understand it, and I think he understood it, maybe he can't say it, but he knows.
Thank you, Stinging Metal. Yeah, let's hit the goal. We were nowhere near it yesterday with the guest. We got a guest tomorrow. Let's hit it today, please. Please, please, please. Let me know what you guys think about this.
He's pushing us, and the whole world is there.
Can I ask, you said earlier that
the model of the temple
is ready to be built in a prefab state. Is that true? Do you have part of the temple already built?
And it's exactly what we said before. It's not enough to pray for the temple. And if you pray for something, you have to believe. And to show that you believe something, you have to do. So that's why we have a lot of vessels made. We have a big altar that was made. We have programs, and yes, also some of the pieces of the temple, like this blocks itself, can be just transferred exactly like the model we see over here, 15 times bigger than this, and the temple can be built.
This place has been a holy place since the beginning of the world and is in essence the center of the world. And we believe that the rock inside of the Dome of the Rock, which is called in Hebrew the Evan HaShatiyah, which in English means the foundation stone, is the foundation stone of the world. That is the place from which God spread out the earth. Right now it's in the hands of the Arabs. We want to change that status to return the temple to its glory, rebuild the temple, restore the sacrificial service, and the future temple will stand forever.
When we celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah, more than 2,000 years ago, a ruthless tyrant persecuted the Jewish people and desecrated the Temple of Jerusalem. But a group of Jewish patriots defeated a powerful army, rededicated the temple, and won.
Okay.
King David established our capital 3,000 years ago. In Jerusalem, King Solomon built our temple, built our temple, built our temple, which stood for many centuries.
Maxed out.
Thank you, Maxed Out Bear.
On Rumble. I want to help you hit the goal, but not because someone else's $2 super chat.
Yeah, we know that. We know you just want to do it either way.
Jewish exiles from Babylon rebuilt the temple, rebuilt the...
Appreciate the big super chat.
Which stood for many more centuries.
My precious. Yeah, that's what reminded me of. We're not talking politics.
Rededicated that temple and restored Jewish sovereignty in this land. And it was here in Jerusalem, some 2,000 years later, that the
2018
spoke three immortal words: Har Habayit Be'adenu. The Temple Mount is in our hands. The Temple Mount is in our hands.
Okay, we're temple maxing.
Opened the United States Embassy in Jerusalem, the capital the Jewish people established in ancient times. Congratulations.
Look, Candace, standing ovation. Well, when I was exposing Third Temple, Candace was clapping it and applauding it with Charlie.
Today we officially opened.
Just some Knesset member that says he wants to rebuild the temple. How the temple's being rebuilt. Okay, let's go back. Okay.
When the only things you believe are real are the things that can be measured or purchased on Amazon, you tend to miss a lot. And we missed this.
No, we didn't. We didn't miss it. I was screaming about it. We missed it. Hey, good thing you guys got Tucker so he can tell you about this.
Here's the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, who we know personally.
$10 on Rumble.
Oh, he up getting into office.
Because of the $2 super chat.
Thank you, Beowulf. Well, good thing he said it's a $5 shekel challenge though, not a $2. So, yeah. Yeah, Milei, who you helped get into office, yeah, he wants to build the temple too. When I was exposing it, you were helping him get into power. So now I'm sure we should still listen to your analysis on this about how it's so anti-Christian and blah, 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 Christian and Jesus and prophecy.
At the Western Wall, which is believed by some to be a remnant of the Second Temple.
See, he's doing the fort, Roman fort Christian conspiracy, some more disinfo.
Second Temple, that's the claim. Here he is there, the famous Wailing Wall, saying this. Watch the subtitles.
Hay una profecía acerca de la destrucción que relata que un zorro
Okay, we just saw that.
Opinions and damaged as Argentina and as promising and great as Argentina, but like there's a lot of things you got to do in Argentina if you're running it. But you take time to fly to Israel and say the thing you really want in life is the rebuilding of the Third Temple?
Autonomous.
What's going on here? And
what is going on here?
Before we invaded Iran.
Yeah, why haven't you talked about it, Tucker? Why not? What's your excuse? I've been doing it for 10 years.
With troops who say out loud, we're doing this to bring about the creation of the Third Temple. Why weren't the rest of us informed?
Oh, my God.
Now, here's a piece of tape you may have seen and that I personally don't want to play since I know the guy and I like him.
Oh.
But it does make you wonder. So this is the current Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, former Fox News employee. Nice man. Very nice.
We've seen that one.
2018.
Thank you, Stingy Metal.
Well, I can tell you I had no idea.
Fun of my $2 super chat. Please stop so I don't have to keep
and
go bankrupt.
All right, whatever you say, Stingy Metal.
That he had
$2 super chats. So stingy.
Opinions on rebuilding the Third Temple, of all questions. This is not something they teach you in Sunday school in the Presbyterian Church. This is not something that people talk about at dinner in the United States. This is not something our Congress ever mentions, that the president ever talks about. This is considered so esoteric.
Bro, when I went to the Charlie Kirk at UCLA, the Charlie Kirk and Don Jr. like TPUSA event, I think it was, I got to ask a question. I asked, hey, has there been any talk about your dad rebuilding the third temple? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I haven't heard about that. Don Jr., I asked him that.
Weird and crypto-historical and religious and kind of culty and what's Chabad, and no one ever mentions it.
No one.
Heck, Seth.
No, no one ever mentions it? Come on.
Football player from Princeton going on about it in a way that suggests he's thought a lot about it. This is 2018.
Today, Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall.
Okay, we already played that. Seen it a million times.
Maybe we should have talked about this. Building this third temple. It's the same man. Okay, this is the point where you begin to think, maybe we should have talked about this and its implications. And what are its implications? Religious war, global religious war. So the first heavily publicized move by the United States military and the Israeli military in this conflict was to kill the head of state of Iran, the 86-year-old Ayatollah Khamenei, who was replaced today by his son, who's apparently more anti-Western than he was. So I guess, strictly speaking, that wasn't very effective. But if you take 3 steps back, and no one did, because everyone's busy denouncing him as Hitler and the most evil man in the world, and we're so grateful he's dead. When was the last time the United States military, or the Israeli, working in conjunction with the Israeli military, killed the head of a world religion?
Yeah, I know, see through it all. It's only like the third temple is only the thing the Jews have been talking about forever. And this guy's acting like, oh my God, how did nobody ever talk about this before? Why did I never hear about this?
Is that wise? It's not because we agree with all world religions. It's not an endorsement of Shia Islam to say maybe we should pause before killing its 86-year-old leader. It is instead an acknowledgement that that might have consequences that affect the United States and Europe and the world, but particularly the United States, since we are the United States and we have children. And hope
just wait till he hears about Edom.
Children, and what will be the downstream effects for them when you kill a religious leader? Did killing the religious leader cripple their command and control structure? Were they unable to launch missiles and...
sent $10.
Thank you, Maxed Out Bear.
A good-natured ribbing for super chats. I had to sell my body 5 times to earn that last $10.
Sell your body? Are you a prostitute, Maxed Out Bear? Really maxed out that you're good nature ribbing.
Drones when we killed the 86-year-old Ayatollah? No. Because he knew he was going to be killed. That's why he stayed above ground, apparently. He wanted to be martyred. Now, why would he want to be martyred? Maybe because he wanted a religious war. Why did we kill him? Maybe because we wanted a religious war. Now, why would we want that? Why would the Israelis, who got us into this war, everyone admits that now, sorry, why would they want that? Well, I don't know. Think about what would happen if this war leads to the destruction of the Dome on the Rock and the Al-Aqsa complex on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem, and we'll explain in a second how that could happen. A war that began with the killing of the head of Shia Islam. What would happen? Well, here are the numbers. There are about 15.5 million Jews in the world, total. There are about 2.5 billion Christians, and there are about 2 billion Muslims. So whatever happens next is not going to be a fight between the Muslims and the Jews, because 2 billion versus 15 million, not much of a fight. This is likely to be, if not brought under control immediately, or maybe it's too late,
Real
a religious war, the one
on Rumble, helping out to hit the goal because I do like guests on the show.
Thank you.
That Lindsey Graham just described between Muslims and Christians.
Okay. Is this the best part?
Yes. Turmoil and bloodshed. Pretty confident.
The claim is that it's been so successful, this air war, they don't need to, and obviously, like I said.
Okay, I think that's about it. I think that's about it with the Tucker stuff. Chabad named. He plays a clip of Mizrachi, too, talking about blowing up the Dome of the Rock. This is what he also said when Trump first got in, I believe. Trump and Putin are going to lead us to Gog and Magog.
When we will know it, if it doesn't happen before the election in America, we will know it the day after the election. Why? If the President of the United States will be Donald Trump, then you'll know it's a matter of weeks until there will be a revolution in the world. You know the type. when you have one Trump on one side of the world and another Trump on the other side, meaning Putin, two Trumps in the same stage, I don't see how we can prevent Gog Magog. It's just a matter of time. Maybe they join together, who knows? In many things they think alike. If it will be the liberal Jews, the liberal Jew Sanders, it will be another 8 years of disaster. Obama multiplied by 1,000. If it will be Hillary, another 8 years like Obama, no hopes. But if it will be Trump, then you'll know right away things will begin to happen.
Look at this one. Before the election, Trump meets with Netanyahu. I said Moshiach Trump is going to get Edom destroyed in Gog and Magog 3. July 2024. What's that, 4 months before the election?
Right now, if we win, it'll be very simple. It's all going to work out and very quickly. If we don't, you're going to end up with major wars in the Middle East and maybe a third world war.
He said, if you don't elect him, you're going to have major wars in the Middle East and maybe World War III. And I said, he's going to get in and get us in war in Gog and Magog with Iran and Russia. And what has happened?
We're closer to a third world war right now than at any time since the Second World War. You've never been so close because we have incompetent people running our country. Thank you very much, everybody.
Cool. Thank you.
If we win,
watch. Let's gonna see. Uh-oh. That one's got to get a retweet. Quote, how did this one age? Or I'll say, yeah, that's fine. How did this one age? Okay, bing, bing, boom.
this is a fight between... On that terrible Saturday morning, the world saw once again...
Heil Chow sent $10.
Heil Chow, thank you.
Hello, Adam. I don't have much to say. Yesterday's guest's voice sounds like Ian Carroll doing a Nick Fuentes impersonation. Looking forward to Scribina tomorrow.
Me too, me too. Appreciate you for the support.
The conflict between Israel and Hamas is not a conflict between...
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Simpson.
Bro J. Simpson. Kind of like OJ, but you're bro. Got it? Thank you. That's a new name.
Between decency and depravity, and between good and evil. There is no comparison between a group that worships death and a group that cherishes life and cherishes our nation. Every single life that is lost in this conflict is on the shoulders of Hamas. Hamas alone. It's Hamas alone. And I think you have to really add in the word Iran.
No, we sent
People don't want to
$5
talk
on Rumble.
about it.
517 viewers on Rumble. $1 each will smash the goal.
517 on Rumble, 100 on Odysee, 617. Probably a few on Twitter as well. Let's go. Got to smash the goal. We're on our way there.
From these monsters, and we will do what has to be done.
Doing what has to be done.
Morning.
This was October 2023. Way back. The signs were there. You fell for the lies. Fell for it again award. Chabad is one of the largest Jewish orgs in the world.
About his legacy. They gathered from all corners of the globe. Chabad, an Orthodox Jewish Hasidic movement, has become one of the largest Jewish organizations in the world. And
on the list of 50 most influential Jews, the only religious Jewish group from Jerusalem Post on the list. Stingy Metal did your part. Yes, you did.
Or shluchim,
all of them added up to 10.
For their annual conference to celebrate the posting of emissary number 10,000 from everywhere, from New York to New Zealand, from Ireland to the Ivory Coast. all of them on a mission from a man who passed away a quarter of a century ago, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, known simply.
Thank you, Rozzy.
Green pills for everyone.
Yes. Green pills for everyone.
Most influential Jewish leader of the 20th century.
Our life mission is to give back to the Jewish people, and I don't see any other way, any other position for me to be active and contribute to the Jewish people in this way.
The more far you are physically is an indication that you're even closer spiritually. In other words, sometimes the
Rumble. Dunk on the rabbis.
Oh, I made some videos of me dunking on the rabbis, by the way. I'll show them to you. Hold on.
beauty is to be found in a place you'd least expect it.
The weekend started with a pilgrimage to the Rebbe's resting place called the Ohel in Queens, New York, paying tribute to a man that many of the younger emissaries never met.
We have a shared purpose, not that we necessarily will ever forget that purpose, but spending time with people that are doing the same things over and over around the world in 100 countries, in every single of the 50 states of the United States, being part of this bigger picture, each one of us being our own part, playing our own.
Sunnah Islam is known's broom. Don't know what that means. Thank you.
It's not about his corporeal, it's not about his body, it's about his legacy, it's about his teachings, about his spirit. And the reality is that the Rebbe's teachings, his legacy, his spirit is more alive now than it ever was.
And that mandate means bringing the Rebbe's unique brand of positivity into the world and bridging the divides of world Jewry, something celebrated during the conference concluding gala.
Optimists live longer than pessimists by an average 11 to 15 years. And what's amazing about this gathering is that Chabad is renowned for inclusivity and for its welcoming nature and its unconditional love, but an additional layer.
Rabbi who crowned Netanyahu, Chabad rabbi.
And contagious.
Diamond tycoon, mining tycoon.
And at the level of soul, we are all one. We transcend differences. We transcend opinions, ideologies, levels of knowledge, background, observance, and so forth.
Mike Wagenheim, I-24 News.
Little music break. Do the Trump dance. Where you been, Tucker? Wait till he learns about Moshiach and Edom, if he ever will. Yo, John, what's up?
Who is providing me rabbi clips? I'm one of those talking about a 9-month victory period of the West over Iran. After that, the West collapses and the Jewish Messiah comes.
Oh, you got a new clip? Can't wait to see it. Sounds like a doozy. They know how to get down and dance, that's for Listen, conquer the world.
Without a doubt, the corner's full. We're marching high.
Sent $10. How do we get Western man to exalt his own blood and homeland to the same sacred status that the Abrahamic followers have? Their zealous fanaticism is a legitimate force and strength that logical debunking alone does not provide as a counter-movement.
I guess we need a new mythos. We need a new mindset. We need some new non-Abrahamic charismatic leaders.
Oh, nation after nation we are conquering. Oh, nation after nation we are conquering.
Gathering.
Check out Joe Lieberman, former U.S. Senator at the Chabad convention.
I used to say that Chabad was sending out more shluchim than McDonald's was opening new hamburger places. He's way beyond that now. I also, and here I have to be careful what I say, I once said that it seemed to me as somebody involved in national security matters, that Chabad actually was developing a larger worldwide organization than the CIA. Tonight, we're honored to have with us the former director of the CIA, a dear friend of mine, Jim Woolsey.
The Shluchim of Chabad Lubavitch. They're everywhere. You can try to run, but you can't hide.
Try to run, but you can't hide. Okay. All right. This is what I want to show you guys now, too. Hold on. How I roll. Dunking on the rabbis. Ready? Here we go. Told you I was going to do this.
Let's go, Duncan!
I don't know why they're celebrating.
Let's go, Duncan!
Let's go. They're all on Team Brooklyn.
Not today, Goyim!
Not today, Goyim!
Not today, Goyim!
All right.
Not today, Goyim!
Okay. If that's not cringe enough. All right. Did I miss some stuff with Tucker? War of Iran will likely cause World War III. Let's see this highlight.
Like I said, a war over Iran will likely trigger a World War III. Now, that book came out in 2022. I remain convinced that we are at the opening salvo of a true world war, and it's happening because of our actions and the actions of our partner, Israel.
I would say even more precisely, it's happening because of Benjamin Netanyahu and the hammerlock he has over the American government.
Yeah.
Including Mossad officers at CIA headquarters and IDF officers.
Yeah, that one.
Real Vision sent $5 on Rumble. Did you ever play the guitar and sing with it for people?
Not people. I would play songs like for my wife or for my girls. I play them for my daughter sometime. We sing some of their songs.
At the Pentagon.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
right.
one came
But no,
from.
I'm not very good.
You would know this individual. He's a very famous CIA guy. I got off the phone with him about an hour before I came on with you, and it's scary. It's scary. I mean, remember though, Gary Vogler, who wrote a great book for the Libertarian Institute. It was called, I think, Israel was the winner of the 2003 Iraq War, something like that. He was an oil guy working for the Coalition Provisional Authority, and he identified this guy named Mcabee, who was a Pentagon bureaucrat who ran the Iraq War desk for the first part of the Iraq War in 2003, and he was a Mossad officer, not just IDF.
You don't say.
So this is our country is unfortunately not
Who's this guy?
run entirely by the United States and the American people.
No, it doesn't. You don't see a lot of sovereignty.
I'll get emails for that one.
Which is it's true. It's factually true.
Yeah.
And the Secretary of State, God bless him.
Who's this guy? Iran's underground Damavand base used for ballistic missiles and air defense has just been obliterated.
می‌بینی صدا انفجارشو؟
They sound happy.
می‌بینی صدا انفجارشو؟
Okay, I want to see Jones. Where's the Alex Jones clip? Here it is.
Relationship with Christ. You got to give the Jews this. Netanyahu was up there in a speech I saw a few weeks ago, and he's like, the Maccabees, 5 brothers that made Israel survive. Mr. Huckabee wouldn't exist today, a play on words, Huckabee, Maccabee, if it wasn't for the Jews. And it is a true statement that Judeo-Christianity, people go, oh, well, it doesn't come out of Jews. Well, it comes out of God and the covenant.
Comes out of according to the Jews. Oh my God.
But the Abrahamic faiths, and Abraham was told at the time, oh, this kid that was, the bastard, that's going to be your enemy now forever. That's the Muslims. It literally tells you.
Ishmael and you, Esau, the brother, the twin brother, not a bastard, but a twin brother.
4,000 years ago, whatever it is, this is what's going to go down. That's why it's prophetic, and it happens. And
prophetic.
So it's true, the whole world and the entire paradigm of everything that got set up is the most influenced in the last
Judeo paradigm. What is he,
2,000 years at least by Jews. You cannot deny it. And then Christ comes not to destroy the old law, but to fulfill it and take it to the next level and graft in everybody else. But that doesn't mean graft in everybody else to then follow the twisted post-Christ 30-plus books that other Jews have put out that they operate off of now.
It sounds like Christianity. 30 books after Jesus.
In all their different sects, they're all divided and conquered.
And so is Christianity. There's not multiple sects in He's talking about Jews, but it completely applies to Christianity too.
Real. Ross sent $10 on Rumble. I give that dunk a 10.
$10 for the dunk. Thank you.
Christ can unify and bring peace to the planet.
Oh my God.
The message of God is
only the Jewish Messiah can fix this.
And through the Jews into Christ. And you can't, when you sit back, you look at it, if I was like a scientist studying this, I'm like, this makes, everything adds up. Everything is accurate. So I don't want to kill the Jews. I want the Jews to step into their true office and to stop denying their Messiah.
Oh my God.
The Christian Zionist.
That's the problem. See, we don't have a problem with Judaism and covenants and Jews and messiahs. They just got to believe in who we say the Messiah is. Then they're cool. Then they're chill.
They're Christians that have just made a new form of Judaism with Christian Zionism. I'm not talking about that. There is no more race. There is no more sect. There is a relationship with Christ into the Father and God.
No more race.
That's it. We have the answer. We have the plan. And sociologically,
we have the plan. You mean the Jewish plan of everybody worshiping the Jewish Messiah?
I can look at that and say the only way to beat the Antichrist system is true, decentralized, personal relationship with Jesus Christ, not through the megachurch, not through the Vatican, individual relationship with Christ. And what does the globalists want to shut down? Small churches, individuals. They hate real Christianity.
Oh, my God. Oh, real Christianity. Guys, we just need real Christianity.
Because it's the answer. God gave us the plan.
Dude, it's the Jewish book, dude. It's not a God plan. The Jews gave you a script.
On Rumble. There's a Zoroastrian prophecy that Dahaku's chained underneath that Mount Damavand will be unleashed at the start of the end of the world.
Yeah, well, they probably were influenced by that. And I'm out of bubble gum. 45, thank you.
Amazing to watch. You should know about this. Would you check it out? If I link in the chat, proof October 7th was mostly AI and full of screw-ups. Jump.
For 45, I'll play it. I'll play it, but maybe not today, though, because we're already over 2 hours, and I've got a few more things on a different topic. But I'll check it out. But so, yeah, put it in the chat.
It's real. Just try it, Jude.
It's real, Goy. The prophecies are real. The Bible is real. We all got to believe in the Jewish Messiah together, ladies and gentlemen.
This prophecy is how they enslave us.
See, you're not exposing Jews in Chabad when you're still promoting Jewish prophecies. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, so many others.
And how are you going to get a Messiah that fixes everything if everybody doesn't go under it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Messiah comes, everybody's got to follow it.
Everybody has to. And so...
No.
Everybody has to. Okay, Rabbi. Oh, it's only 30 seconds? Okay.
Just say, Jesus,
well, where is it?
If you're real. I love you, Jesus. Just show me. What do you have to lose, Jews? Oh, you're real scared, aren't you? Because you've got a real potential that the devil doesn't want you to use. So, hey, if it's Jesus isn't real, he's a fraud, all this stuff, You're not betraying your people, you're fulfilling your people.
Oh my God, dude, he's doing Jews for Jesus messianic outreach. He's proselytizing to Jews. If they only accept their Messiah, then we win.
Ask the Holy Spirit into your soul. Accept Jesus Christ. Take Christ's hand. He's at the door. Open the door.
Oh my God.
What do you got to lose if this is all crap? But you know, don't you?
You know.
Fulfill your destiny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, Adam.
Bring forth the Messiah.
Oh my, bring forth the Messiah. Okay, Rabbi Jones. Dude, Adam King's got to see that. I got to send that to Adam King. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, did I miss some stuff from Tucker here?
Well, the Iranians or the Americans.
I like when he has the timestamps broken down. He didn't do that on this one. Annoying.
Anybody. How long do you want? We're so grateful he's dead. 2.5 billion Christians, and they're about, and blame the Iranians. And that clip from a couple of years ago, this is from August of 2024, from an Israeli rabbi, Joseph Mizrahi, describing how Israel should take advantage of a then ongoing conflict with Iran, much less intense than the current conflict we're seeing with Iran, to destroy the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa. Watch this.
If it was up to me, the last time when they shot hundreds of missiles, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down. You know, then all the Arabs will go against Iran, and it will be the end of the problems. You make them fight with each other, this bunch of lunatics. Never too late, you deal with a bunch of cowards.
Shoot it down into the Dome of the Rock in Al-Aqsa. Destroy what's on what the Israelis call the Temple Mount, on the foundation stone. Destroy it and blame the Iranians. And that has the effect, as you just heard him say, of turning our enemies against each other. Turning our enemies against each other. Although they've refused to recognize it for quite some time, the Europeans are the enemies, the mortal enemies of the Israelis. That's the Israeli perspective, obviously. Look at the effects.
Edom?
And so,
Edom mention?
If that were to happen in this context...
Dude, remember Alex Jones was playing the compilations, the anti-Edom compilations that we made? Imagine if Tucker goes next. If he goes Edom-pilled. That would be crazy.
It's not the Israelis who would bear the brunt of it. It's the Europeans, it's the Canadians, it's the Australians, and it's...
Yeah, the Jews are real scared of Jesus, dude. Nothing they fear more. They're terrified that Jesus is going to come down and with his sword and conquer them.
And it's the Russians. 20% of Russia is Muslim. All of those countries would be in for serious turmoil and bloodshed, and maybe already this shortly into the war. Turn them against each other, you heard the rabbi say. Now, how could this play out? Very simple. Iran is sending drones and missiles into Israel right now, mostly into Tel Aviv. Is it beyond imagination that in the fog of war, maybe one of those missiles hits the Dome of the Rock, or we're told that it did? And of course, during war, the first thing you see is censorship, so it's very hard to know what's going on. You're already seeing it today. Is there less or more video available on the internet today than there was yesterday from this war? Well, there's much less, of course. That's called censorship. They're censoring video of what's actually happening. It happens in every conflict.
Okay, I'm all out of bubble gum. This is what he sent me, all right? Let's check this out. He said 30 seconds of this.
This one is showing you some more crazy trails surrounding him. And then these videos are actually, you'll see the final render size.
Is this like, oh, it's CGI, it's fake?
Peek at this.
Because this just looks like low quality artifacts. Dude, this is... Dude, he's just going to be like, it looks like AI. Is that all he's going to do? Looks normal to me. This is like low quality.
See those trails?
Yeah, it's called motion blur.
Like
come on, dude. I'm not into this stuff. We got real stuff to focus on, not hey, what if this is a
side by sides, because these are the actual real size of the original, or not these ones, but the original.
All right, we're done with this. Sorry, dude, not into this.
20 by 1080.
No. It's what?
That's the
part 3, 10, 43 seconds.
That's the recorded resolution of
3:10
video. What's going on there? His face. Look at the squares on his face. There's different colors.
Dude, this is retarded. Different colors on his face.
Glitchy.
Yeah, this type of shit is 10 minutes in. All right, what am I looking for here?
That's just.
He paid $45, so we're gonna check this out. But I'm losing my patience. 10 minutes, 40 seconds.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Shifty. Glitchy. So,
dude, this is just shitty recording, security camera footage that you're just slowing down frame by frame. What are you doing? Normal digital artifacts.
That is not
42 seconds is in 15 seconds.
To use for an excuse for any of this either, because it's so obviously
pixels. Oh, dude, I think his eyes just shape-shifted into a reptilian, too. Did you see that? Hold on, we got to zoom in extra good on this shitty security footage. Oh, bro, do you see the reptilian eyes? That's what this feels like. Come on.
Like, easy to understand. These are the non-rotating sliding wheels that the AI models have problems with. The motorcycle is moving, but the wheels are not.
Yeah, because you're only going back and forth a tiny little frame, dude. You can't see the spokes. This is dude.
That's pretty easy to understand.
He spent 25 years in audio and video. Okay, dude. All right, yeah. It's all totally fake. Give me a break, dude. What does this have? 153 followers? I'm not into this type of stuff.
Every war sets off.
Sorry, I appreciate the dono, but that I don't take that guy seriously at all, and none of that looks suspicious.
The same cycle at home, far from the fighting. Censorship.
Hey, dude, if we just expose the glitches in this low-quality security camera, dude, the whole war is going to stop, and the Zionists are going to be out of, like, he worked at Circuit City. Yeah. Oh, dude, just wait until we out that October 7th was a complete hoax. They'd made it all with AI. No one will watch it. Yeah, no one will.
Persecution. Censorship and persecution. Persecution of the enemies, real or perceived, or the people prosecuting the war. And censorship of their views. So in that environment, when you can't really know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need to fake it. They have real Arabs that really do hate them and that really do want to attack for reasons. But yeah, that's like Bigfoot tier activity. That's crazy. No one will watch it. I just watched it and it doesn't seem serious at all.
To be honest, thousands of miles from here, all of a sudden, the Al-Aqsa complex is just vaporized. Oops, the Iranians did it. Then we have this debate. It's like a hospital bombing in Gaza. Who did it? Well, it was a booster from a Hamas rocket. Well, how do I know? I wasn't there. All we know is it's gone. Oh, so sorry. Could that happen? Oh, yeah, it could happen. The army is fighting with patches of the Third Temple on their arms, on their official uniforms.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You should maybe send that one to Owen Benjamin. Let Owen Benjamin get to the bottom of that one.
And what happens then? Global religious war. Talk about high stakes. You thought nukes were high stakes. At least nukes are over quickly. There are survivors.
Bro, what's this white shit on Tucker's face, bro?
Religious war?
You eating a powdered donut? What are these
That's
white?
Worse than any virus and more deadly.
Bro, what's
that? Could
is that is his Zyn pack breaking open? What's going on here?
Do the people in charge know it could happen? Some of them do. They don't seem worried about it. They should be. We should all be worried about it. And we should all be noisy about it. No, you can't do that to the world. We hope to give to our grandchildren.
Hate to brag, but we're pretty confident this show is the...
Oh my them.
You never have to leave your in a conceptual, big picture way, but in a detailed way, and coming at this with an understanding of the technology,
Adderall mouth,
the tactics, and the strategies. We've been super impressed, and we think you will be too. With that, Brandon Weichert joins us now. Brandon, thank you.
Okay, that's it. Come on, there was nothing more.
Israeli working in conjunction with the Israeli military.
Okay, 2.5 hours. We're gonna have to do the Sam Tripoli, demon extraterrestrial aliens, and Chris Bledsoe, satanic angel orbs for the next show. We're gonna be back tomorrow with David Skirbina at 2 p.m. Eastern. Look at Tucker shilling the supernatural. Actually, that'll go better with the Sam Tripoli stuff. And hold on. And where's my music? Boop, boop, boop. There we go. I also want to do this Myth Vision versus Trent Horn debate. That should be good. Hey, let's go out to this one. Biblical plan to conquer the world, the New World Order. Another John Garadas mix with a bunch of See Through It All clips. We'll go out to that instead of our normal outro. So appreciate everybody for donating. We smashed the goal. You guys are amazing.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, baby.
Thank y'all. Come again.
Yeah, we got way too much stuff we know for a fact. There's no point in speculating about pixels. I'm not a pixel investigator, but I do appreciate the dono. Leave a comment, give it a like, a share, clip the show, buy the book below, The Jesus Deception, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be a good one with David Skirbina, author of The Jesus Hoax. We'll be discussing the Jesus hoax. So you guys take care.
Do you have a message for the non-Jewish world, Rabbi?
That it will be peace for all the world by performing all the 7 mitzvahs of the Mcabee.
Do you feel we've entered a messianic age, Rabbi?
Huh?
Do you feel that we entered the age of the Messiah, Rabbi?
Long ago.
Long ago.
Hashem scattered the Jews among the nation, להרבות עליהם גרים. Mitzvah to show the truth to the goyim, that they should leave their idols and become Noachites, righteous Gentile. It's mitzvah.
When the Jewish people have the authority and the ability to enforce, anybody that doesn't accept the 7 Noahic laws loses their life, should be killed.
If you do not keep these 7 laws, you should be killed in this world, and you will not have the share in the world to come.
But this is the reason why the other monotheistic religions were so popular. Both the Christians and now he introduces the Muslims. They are here to play an important role. Their role is to straighten the path for Messiah, to clear the path for Messiah, to fix the whole world to worship God. That's the role of Messiah. They're going to help facilitate that.
Religious efforts under Theodosius were thorough. Nicene Christianity and Orthodox Trinitarianism became the official state religion in 380. In 381, persecutions of pagans began with authorized attacks on pagan temples. Between 389
Down with Yahweh, hail the old gods, go to the gym and eat some beef jerky.
holidays were turned into work days. The use of auspices, the religious foundation of ancient Roman authority, was prohibited. The Vestals were disbanded, and the altar of victory was removed from the Senate in Rome. In 393, the Olympic Games ceased. In 394, Rome's eternal flame was extinguished because it was pagan.
Anti-Semitism is really anti-God. I don't mean that every Jew is perfect, but the Torah and the divine revelation that the Jews were given and are responsible to follow themselves and also share with others is really God's. It's God's message to the world. It's God's way of life for the entire world. And so anti-Semitism is being anti-God. The fight right now against Jews is a fight against Hashem, is a fight against God
You know, this was the biggest warning that Paul the Apostle made to Gentile believers. He said, listen, you guys, know your place. He says, before you were introduced to the God of Israel, to Jesus, the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua, you were a Gentile, you were a pagan, you were without hope, without God in the world. And this was our place. And he says, but now by grace you've been grafted in, as you said, to the tree of Israel. And he says, but just because you've been grafted in by grace, don't you become arrogant. Don't you look down on those that were broken off in order that you blind Gentile could come in. And yet, unfortunately, Gentile arrogance is what has dominated much of the church down through history. Beyond the political activism side, first and foremost, our stand with Israel has to be gospel-centered. So we need to stand against the propaganda and the lies that are coming against Israel, but at the heart of it, our support has to be much deeper and spiritual. We need to be calling the Jewish people back to the God of Israel, back to their Messiah. It's the Jewish Messiah that brought us into this relationship with them, and that's our duty. It's our mandate, is to bring them back to him as well.
We as Christians need to understand that the Bible tells us that the Jews are God's chosen people. We as Christians need to understand that God gave the so-called land of Palestine to the Jewish people, to Israel, which they have occupied in perpetuity for 3,000 years, not always ruling it, but they've been there in that land that God gave them. And we need to understand that we should be praying for that, because God gave us the Bible through the Jews. God gave us our Messiah as a Jewish man.
You see, the Jewish people have given us the Word of God. Every word in this book was written with Jewish hands. The patriarchs were all Jewish. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Ezekiel, Isaiah. There's not a Gentile in the list anywhere. Paul was a Jew.
This guy was just praying for Trump at the White House.
Gentile world was
We showed earlier.
by the name of Paul the Apostle.
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so is the Lord round about his people forever. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. In this city, the Messiah is going to come and put his foot on the Mount of Olives. It will split in half. He will walk up and sit on that throne for 1,000 years. This city is going to be the city that every prime minister, president, king, and queen, every person on the planet must come and get their instructions to function. Paris, Washington, Rome, or pup tents at the end of a dirt road compared to Jerusalem in the future. This is the city of God.
The Goyim are going to build your walls, and the kings are going to serve you, and the gates will be constantly open in order to enable the Goyim to come and bring the Chel Goyim, the wealth of the nations, and to be able to come and bring it to Yerushalayim. And as other Mepharshim say, they're going to be brought in chains to show that they are avodim to Malach. And the reason why the gates of Yerushalayim will always be open will be because the Goyim will be coming by the myriads to bring the gifts and to bring the wealth and to bring all the gifts to Yerushalayim, to the Yid.
The Goyim at that time will all become believers in God, in the Jewish God. They will simply throw out all their versions of who God is, whether that God is Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or the Hindu deities, for good and forever. As soon as you start your beginning of Bible study, of Torah study, is the first word, the first thing you need to know: the whole world was created for the Jewish people and for the Torah. B'shul HaTorah, b'shul Yisrael, for the sake of the Jewish people observing the Torah.
Matthew 25, he says this: when the Son of Man comes in his glory, that's when Jesus comes back. He splits the sky, shining like the sun, with an army of angels with him. When he comes back, he's describing his own return. Then he will sit on your throne forever. But let's just call it what it is. It's the restoration of the Jewish monarchy that will rule over the earth. So you get all these conspiracy theorists that go, the Jews rule the world. No, they don't. But someday a Jew will rule the world. He's still Jewish. He's coming back as a Jew in a physical Jewish body, and all nations will bow down to him.